those who weren't welcome to Table Quests, our weekly D&D live stream with coming to you from all over the world, whether it be morning, noon, or night, wherever you are. I am Drew. I'm from the U.S. And I am the Dungeon Master for this evening. I'm joined by these 5 wonderful individuals. Kat, say hi.
Hello, I'm Kat. I'm from Australia, the correct hemisphere, and I play Tempest.
And John is here as well.
My name is John. I am also from the United States. And I play Desiel.
We've got Walt.
Hello, I am from Brazil. Again, the correct hemisphere, just like Kat, and I play Untitled.
The opposite of inspiration. You have that. Mike is here with us.
Hi, I'm from Canada, and I'm playing Pep.
And last but certainly not least, Kendra.
Hi, Kendra, American living in Portugal.
Alrighty. Does anyone have anything they'd like to say before we begin? First of all, thank you to Syrinscape for the use of their lovely music library tonight and into the future. Are we all ready to begin?
Let's do it.
From the baked earth and deep crevices of the Red Rock Mountains, to the desolate peaks in the northeastern reaches of Lascaux, to the wild southern jungles beyond the touch of civilization, to the wild expanse of the Derivan Ocean in the north, the 6 kingdoms hold sway. 17 years ago, each of these kingdoms were blessed by a particular god, with the power of the divine doors, portals which interconnect each capital of these sacred nations to one another, allowing communication, aid, magical knowledge to be propagated. Beyond this, each of the doors was touched by the particular god who granted it, giving it particular characteristics that differentiate it from the others. In Elysia, in the center of the cracked sea, lies the prime door, where was laid the foundations of this great alliance. The worshippers of Pelor, that they were given a great palace of marble and crystal, where the leaders of kingdoms and armies meet, forming their thrones, forming a great crescent in the throne room, giving the name to this rule of the 6 kingdoms. In Escura, to the north and west, there lies the Sacred Glade, given by Eldath, the goddess of magic. It lies raised above a large fen swamp surrounding it, where pools of water are given magical qualities of all kinds. This is, of course, controlled by the Druidic Triumvirate, who hold sway over these lands. Shifting over to the west, you find in Flascos the Raven Queen's final temple, where her final worshippers, the only member of the prime deities, to throw her weight behind this unification. It differs in that it is the only door which requires a sacrifice, a small drop of blood spilled on parchment, in order to pass through into wherever one would like to go. Opliana, to the south of that, is home of Bahamut's Platinum Sanctum, a vast tower rising up into the heavens from the steppes surrounding the lands, as well as being the home of one of these portals. The Sanctum is also the connection point between the material and celestial planes, where members of the Divine Celestial Protectorate servants of the gods in the celestial plane can communicate with those of us here in the material plane. Shifting far to the other side of the map, down in the southwest lie the Red Rock Mountains, ancestral home of the dwarves, where you will find buried within the Auburn Mountain the Clockwork Portal, which, in addition to the portal itself, stretches out great clockwork machines powered by waterfalls which tumble down the cliffs on the surface, allowing them to drill down and down and down, farther and farther beneath where any could have delved before, even with the help of magic. These 6 kingdoms, for a time, the last decade and a half, have been peaceful, have been something of a golden age, even, or the beginnings of it. But the cracks, unfortunately, already begin to show. Flascos and Escura notably began bickering with one another over territory which lay in the center, which one of you, I should say, is all too aware of. The dwarves of Red Rock have stumbled upon vast tunnels that ancient, powerful worms dug ages ago and begun to wake them, spelling disaster for several cities and mines. Down in the southeast of Elysia itself, grow rumors of riot and of revolution. But today, none of that really concerns any of you, as we turn to the island nation of Alterim, which has for centuries stood as the home of the elves. Within Alterim lies the Grand Archive, blessed by the god of arcane knowledge, Denier, as a great library which stretches miles upon miles under the surface, under the ground, spreading out and out and out and out, and even as more is uncovered, the end of this vast maze of books and of scrolls has yet to be found. It's even theorized that it covers the entirety of the surface, or rather the subsurface, of the nation. Our story does not take place under the ground, but above it, in a rather large town, not quite a city in the northern, or in the central spoke of the island, the town of Andriel, where our hodgepodge collection of newfangled adventurers, for one reason or another, have made their way. Tempest, start with you. Your carriage, which you've been traveling on for about a day now, rattles over the cobblestone roads which wind their way through the sharply rising countryside. You have been the last day spiraling up mountains and across ridges, but now it opens up before you into the vast plateaus which are indicative of this section of the island. Spreading out in front of you, you see, in fact, the town, with a few of the spire-like roofs that are very much a part of elven architecture. Just off outside the city, however, is the subject of your attention, as a vast tent has been placed in a field, with smaller carts and tents surrounding it, and lights and noise erupt from this area. Some natural, some magical. You see motes of glittering light popping free, and loud noises which accompany them. The driver of the carriage, a kind of bent over older elven man, taps you from the back of the carriage and pulls you, gestures you forward, and you go up to look. He grumbles. "There's what you're looking for." Hopefully the circus will be something special this year.
It certainly looks something special.
That it does. This Festival of Light may be one of the better ones of the last few years.
I am so excited. Drive faster! Come on!
All right. Kind of snips the reins. The horse pulling the cart looks back at you. A little bit of a suspicious glare before speeding up slightly. And you make your way down the road. Achingly long time. For you, it feels like hours just sitting, waiting, staring at these beautiful things that you can't quite get to. But in reality, it's only probably about 30 minutes or so that you make your way across the flat plateau before reaching the outskirts of the city. He stops the cart. Oh, on your way.
Alright, thank you, kind sir. I have no payment for you whatsoever, but I think you knew that when you let me on anyway. Thank you very much. I'll do a little bow, tip my hat, and eye the horse suspiciously as I back away quickly.
I suspected as much. Enjoy yourself, young one.
Bye! And I'm gonna run off down the street towards the circus.
All right, and as you do, the noises grow louder. There are now crowds around this area as it's getting on in the evening. The sun is beginning to set over the, not quite set, but to reach the mountain peaks from whence you came in the west, and starts to illuminate in a much softer light. The people who now begin streaming towards, or those who are already there and those just entering. There are shopkeepers and all manner of people who have set up shop essentially in this area. There is obviously the large tent in the center, probably about 200 feet across, which has attached to it a smaller, boxier tent on the back, with a ring of wagons around that. There are tents kind of in a semicircle around the front side where the entrance is, where you can see magicians and tricksters, as well as in the far corner away from you, you can see a large number of cages, large and small, that have been placed. Some are now empty, as the field around has been fenced in to allow for the presentation of some very interesting creatures, from wolves to even rabbits and things like that, as well as some more magical beings that you're not really familiar with. Some have scales, some have feathers, some eyes glow, and you can swear you saw a crocodile walking on two legs. But that's quickly lost in the churning people walking by. You kind of jostle your way through a crowd. You find yourself next to a very small, almost lean-to tent, kind of on the edge of these shops. And crouched inside is an old-looking dwarf woman, who eyes you. Hello, dear. Do you care to play a game?
A game? I have been on the road for hours. I would love to play a game. What game are we playing?
Oh, you'll love this one. Trust me. And she pulls out a wooden board, probably about 3 feet long, and places in front of her and shoves some rocks under it to kind of even it out, before pulling out 3 small cups, as well as a little smooth circular rock. I'm going to take this rock and place it underneath one of these cups. I'm going to mix them all about. And if you can tell me which one it's under, you will win 1 silver piece. But if you can't, that's 1 silver piece for me.
I'm gonna pat down my pockets to check, like I'll rattle some of the sides of my robes and see if I even have a silver piece, and just kind of like dig one out and like brush some lint off of it and some sad road remnants of whatever snacks I had carried around, and I'll put it down in front of her and say, "Deal, lady."
Yes. She pulls a silver piece of her own out of her bag and places it on top of yours. Well, here you are. Takes the rock, places it under the center cup, and begins quickly shuffling around. Make a perception check. If you would. 8, and that is against her. It's going to be against her sleight of hand. Okay. I haven't necessarily failed because that's a contested roll. Yeah. So she mixes around, and very quickly you kind of lose track. The noises around you are a bit distracting, and you've lost the cup.
Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. The left one.
Left one. She picks it up, and indeed, underneath is the small stone. Oh, lucky guess. Well done.
It wasn't a guess.
Oh, of course not. Of course not. Now, you can take your 2 silver, or we can double it up. If you win 2 silver. If you lose 2 silver. You've clearly got the luck of the draw today. Come on.
Okay, you've convinced me. You drive a hard bargain, lady, but alright.
Right, she places another silver of her own up on the bar. And again places under the center cup and begins and make me another perception check. The 19, yeah. As you swirl around, this time you're very, very determined to keep your eye on it. You see, track, and it ends up right in the middle.
Middle one. I got you. I know your stick.
She puts it up, and indeed there it is. Well done. Now, since you are clearly so well suited for this game, perhaps you'd like to play for the ultimate prize.
There's an ultimate prize.
Oh, yes. A whole gold piece. Which she draws very dramatically out of her purse. If you win this final game, you receive all of the silver and a gold piece. And if you lose, you only lose your silver.
I mean, when you put it that way. Go on, stop doing it.
Yes. So you... And make me another perception check. 16. So you again. Now there's gold involved. You are just absolutely. You kind of put your hands over your ears to block out any external noise. Watch it all the way around. But very, very oddly, you notice quickly that she deftly lifts the cup up, appears to slide the stone out of the cup, continues mixing before sliding it back underneath the rightmost cup. If you switches before returning it to its normal position, while the original cup that it was in goes to the left. Well,
I am very impressed. You have some, nimble fingers, lady. Where did you learn this stuff?
oh, I'm sure I don't know what you're talking about. It's Billy.
Absentmindedly, I'm going to pick up that cup that I saw her slip the stone under and just...
Yes. Well done, child. I don't suppose I could convince you to play again?
No, but it's okay. You can keep the gold. I just wanted the game, really.
All right.
But can you show me the trick with the cup? Like, that was very cool. You did like a... Like, you're old, but man, like, no arthritis in those bones whatsoever.
That old. Make a persuasion check. 11. She just kind of eyes you. I think it best we part ways, young one.
You're sensitive about your age. I'm gonna turn around and leave.
She scoops up all of the money, including the silver that you would put down.
No, I'm taking my silver back. She didn't teach me.
So you maintain the amount of silver that you started with, unless you're going to try and grab all of it.
No. I said she could have it.
All right.
I'm annoyed, but I'm not that annoyed.
After this fun little diversion, you make your way. You see that everyone else is making their way to the entrance of the tent, where now there are some booming noises of a very loud, magically enhanced even voice emanating from within, although you can't quite hear what exactly it's saying. And are you gonna head inside? That's where everyone's attention seems to be going. It seems like something very
If
important.
that's where everyone's going, I'm going, and I'm like hopping above the crowd to like see if I can. It's completely futile. I'm way below everyone's headline, but
Occasionally, people can see the tip of a witch's hat break the heads of the crowd. As you enter, we zoom out, as it were. The interior of the tent, of course, circular with that backstage area kind of closed off with a curtain. Around the main ring, which currently has an acrobatic troupe just finishing up their act. A few more flips through rings and splits, dazzling for the crowd, as they begin to walk off stage, and several workers rush out to tear down their setup quickly before the next event. Around that ring, there is sort of wooden seating, kind of bleachers that have been set up all around it, with the exception of there's an opening, obviously, for the entrance and for the backstage on the opposite side, where you kind of find your way, Tempest, as we shift backstage, where at the moment, Pap. Oh, I am so sorry. I forgot, Tempest. Before we do that, would you like to describe what Tempest looks like for everyone?
I think I'll wait until I meet everyone else, if that's okay.
All right.
Just a little witch's hat moving through the crowd at the moment.
And all any of you who might be looking may see amongst the crowd. So Pep, you are kind of in the corner of the backstage while everyone else is rushing around you. And Jacques, your, well, hesitate to say friend, but the man who has kind of helped you out, kind of giving you one last talk. Okay, you're gonna go on in just a little bit. You're next up after Nestor does his little bit. Are you ready for this?
Yeah. How long am I supposed to keep in there with them?
Talked about this. If you can win. You beat this guy, we're set for life.
Oh, you want me to win? Oh, okay, yeah, sure, no problem. Yeah, I can win.
Yeah, I know the thing you do, but you need to not do it today. I know you're good. You're good, kid. And if you could beat this guy, you can beat anybody, and I know you can. If you could beat him, well, I won't have to do your job anymore. Get you set up with those seedy bars and things like that, just getting beat up for copper. We're talking gold. This guy's on the circuit, the professional circuit.
Gold? Oh, okay. But I'm still getting my copper, right?
Yeah. That's It's already negotiated.
All right, and he'll let out a yawn, slap his face a little. You'll smell the alcohol.
Were you drinking last night?
Always.
You know what I've told you about drinking the night before your fights.
I'm sorry. I didn't know I was supposed to win. You gotta let me know.
Look, these things just... I didn't want to get your hopes up. I mean, this guy's good, but... You could be good.
Yeah, I can be good, I think. Another burp.
All right. Now get out there. And he kind of grabs your shirt and aggressively straightens it out. Once he's done, you're walking out once they got the ring set up. And he looks over to the other side of kind of the backstage area, where a group of people are kind of a group of workers are standing, kind of picking up wood and holding canvas ready to move it out there. One of those people being Indra, or rather, I know how to say it, Lyra, where you are standing next to one of your other workers who volunteered for this. You don't quite remember her name, but you kind of, you've talked a little bit. She's a young elven woman. It's kind of just waiting around. You're all sort of waiting for the signal to move. But as you look around, obviously there's the fighter getting ready in this corner. But now stepping out of his carriage and speaking with another man is the one you are here to see. The wondrous Nestor, as a matter of fact, who is a tall, sprightly half-elf, whom you would think was elven to look at him, except for his ears are slightly more rounded than any elf you've probably ever seen. His face is a bit more square, less of the sharp angles that denote an elven lineage. And he has dressed in all red. Red trousers, red undershirt, and he kind of puts on his decorative red and gold coat with golden tassels on the sleeves, and then golden buttons that he's kind of doing up. Now at the last second, while speaking with an older human man in kind of hushed tones, but he stands in the center of this room now for a moment, and no one else seems to be around him. It's just him and whomever he's speaking with.
I'll kind of walk over to see if I can gently eavesdrop on what him and the man are saying.
So you're trying to be, you would say, stealthy?
Yeah, but she's probably not doing a good job at it.
All right, we'll make a stealth check.
Okay. Still here. Not doing a good job.
Ooh, a 6. No, not really. You kind of, for a moment, think about creeping up, but pretty quickly they both kind of break and look at you. And Nestor, in particular, makes eye contact with you, and you see, as all of everything you've heard about him would suggest, those very bright, piercing blue eyes. Hello. Can I help you?
Yes, no, and she'll like put out her hand as a handshake and be like, your eyes are very blue. What they said was true.
Yes, thank you. He tentatively shakes your hand. Are you with the working crew?
Yeah, I'm volunteering, doing a great job.
Lovely. It's wonderful to see such fantastic community engagement. And you see that although he's kind of putting forward this very mature, practiced demeanor, he's really not that much older than you. He's only maybe a couple years, or appears only a few years older than you. He kind of hides behind this veneer. I am in need of a volunteer, an assistant, for my exhibition for the children. Here in a moment, while they set up the ring for the fight. Would you care to join me?
And like Lyra will kind of look around and like point to herself. You want me to join you?
Yes. Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Yes, please. That sounds amazing.
Lovely. I'm so glad. He kind of holds out his hand in the uh, gentlemanly way, as opposed to take yours.
I will like tentatively put my hand there, but like really happy about it.
It sweeps you forward, towards the entrance. Now you don't even know where he got it, but there's just a cape now, very flamboyant red cape that is now kind of tossed over one shoulder, as well as a top hat that slightly kind of goes straight up, but then kind of cocks to one side as it kind of curls over. And he steps you both in front of the curtain as the acrobats kind of file their way in. When the last of them exits through, he turns to you and, remember, dear, to smile for the kids. And throws open the curtain and steps out to the thunderous applause of the now probably several hundred people who are in this circus. Cheers and cries. You see a group of young women all waving handkerchiefs and fawning over Nestor, who steps to the middle of the ring with you, and kind of beckons for everyone to quiet. As we draw closer to the end of the night, it is time to say goodnight to the children, as they will be leaving after this piece I have made especially for them. After which, the fights will begin, and of course this is your last chance. Get in your bets with the bookkeepers in the back. Everything will be sealed once the fight has begun. Now, and he beckons from backstage, and another worker runs out with a chair that he places in the center of the room, and all of the lights, which you can see are magical floating motes of light that kind of illuminate most of the space, now turn and focus their beams on the center, where he beckons for you to sit, Tempest. Now towards the back of the middle, where you can see just about everyone in front of you, coming from the back. So you're not quite in the center. So everyone is definitely looking at you, and you can see all of them. He turns to you and says, "Are you ready?
Yeah.
Let's put on a show." And he tosses up his hands. Children of all ages, I present to you the great magic of the wondrous Nestor. And you hear a few giggles and chuckles through the crowd. Turning back, he kind of grabs his cape and throws it up in front of your face so that it's obscured from the rest of you in the crowd. I said, I will, with only a flourish of this cape, produce before you the most beautiful creature the world has ever seen. You hear a few, ooh. Are you ready? You see kind of this magical glitter effect kind of propagate out from his cape. 1, 2, 3, and right before 3, you see kind of a flick of his other hand, and you can't see anything happen, obviously. But as he throws it down, there's a moment of silence, before uproarious laughter, as the rest of you can see that now Lyra's face has been covered up with an illusion of the face of a troll, very thick red lipstick, and kind of this hairy mole sticking out from its cheek, just looking out at you in a rather silly manner. And he kind of does a double throws the cape back up. Oh, that wasn't supposed to happen. Let me try again. Throws it back and again kind of flicks his hand. And this time, the face is back to that of Lyra, but as soon as she opens her mouth in any kind of way, there's the screeching of a seagull. Even if she doesn't mean to speak, just this kind of that again sends the children into tizzies of laughter. Oh, I am so sorry, everyone. I could. Oh, I'm not normally like this. It's usually quite easy. Again, flicks, but this time your face has been covered with a perfect replica of Nestor's own face, which has a very silly grin. Ah, there we are, the most beautiful face in the world. And the children naturally are sent into a tizzy. After leaving them to their hilarity for a moment, he kind of claps his hands, which with his commanding presence very quickly quiets most everyone in the room. And now, parents, it's time to either leave with your children or to send them out, because it's time for the main event. And the lights again kind of swirl around the room now, almost in a kind of very anticipatory, flare of light. As the ring, very quickly while this was going on, was being set up, a square raised wooden platform stretched over with canvas, a boxing ring, for all intents and purposes. After waiting a few moments for a few adults with clearly disappointed children shuffle their way out. Well, now is your final chance. So he kind of ushers you, Lyra, back to the backstage area, shaking your hand. Thank you for your help.
Yeah, anytime. I'm here to help.
Would you mind taking the chair back with you?
Of course, sir. And I'll grab the chair.
And you kind of rush back, ducking out of the way of anyone coming out. And you see the workers who you had been with also filtering back at the same time as they had set up the ring. And a few of them look a bit annoyed at you, that you kind of ditched them to the hard work. But you kind of file back with them. And re-entering, you see two groups of people. On the one side, headed by a very heavily set dwarf with this massive but perfectly square-cut beard, red beard, and impressively bushy eyebrows, might I add, and with very large curls of kind of golden red hair, in just a simple black tunic, done at the waist with a belt, and black trousers, accompanied by an entire retinue. You see people carrying water skins and towels, and as well as someone holding gloves and tape and things like that, all kind of huddled around him as he just stands staring at the front curtain. A few feet off, there are two people. A kind of short, squat human, with kind of greasy black hair that goes about down to his shoulders. Kind of in hushed tones speaking with you, Pep. Would you like to describe your character, or would you like to wait until a little bit later?
Sure, I can describe my character.
All right,
if that's okay.
Right ahead.
Yeah.
Of course. Up to you.
He has he's about 5'8", 5'9". He's a human male with kind of a raggedy beard. He has slightly longer hair, and he looks like he has a perpetual black eye or a bruise on his face constantly. And he's dressed in clothes that would be nice if they had been washed recently. They're kind of just not on point exactly, and you see him kind of stumbling a little bit. He's obviously has a hangover. You can smell it on him as he's just trying to listen to his manager best as he can.
Back out in the main room. All three of you out there, Desiel, Emnel, and Tempest, all kind of eagerly look towards the center where Nestor is now speaking. Kind of does his cloak in a much more refined manner, as much as it is possible to do so in the look that he has. As the lights kind of coalesce back to him. And now it's time for what many of you are here for. At least I know those of you in the back keeping betting books are certainly here for this. We have tonight a hand-to-hand bout of the greatest proportions. From the coasts of Opleana, weighing in at not very much, comes the great slugger, the dark horse, Joseph Pep Queensbury. Gestures his hand back as one of the lights sweeps over to the back curtain, which is thrown open as Jacques and Joseph both step forward. There's a modest cheer. You know, people are ready for this. As you walk around, kind of taking in the attention and set in your corner. Here, I forgot to have this open. Here it is. No, here it is. Hailing from Red Rock, the prize-fighting pugilist of the Pecorine Islands, etc., etc. As you all know, Amarok the Obliterator! And the crowd erupts in this massive cheer and shout as the dwarf steps forward with his entourage behind him and just... Yeah. There's certainly a favorite tonight, which the bets might... yes. Yes, thank you. As they settle in their corner and you both step up onto the canvas, Nestor steps up along with you in the center and beckons both of you forward. Now, are you both prepared?
Did you say Obliterator? Oh, okay. Yeah, I give Jax a look, and I'm like, oh, okay, yeah.
Yes, and Nestor just kind of looks at you. Yes. Good luck. Good luck. We're stepping back up. Are you both prepared? Well, then I see no reason to delay this any longer. Let the fight begin! And this magical ring, because obviously none of you see a bell anywhere, but the sound of a fighting bell just ding, 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 rings out, and both of you fists up, and Amarok steps towards you very solidly and just takes a swing at your gut. Does a 19 hit you?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Alright, so you take... Let me see here... This fist just... smacks into your side. You take 10 points of bludgeoning damage.
Noted.
This
Okay, yeah.
Crack! Smashes into your ribs, and you can hear a bit of a creak and a wheeze. Knocks you sideways. What are you gonna do?
So I'm gonna immediately, when I feel that, I feel like I kind of, I feel last night's ale like coming back up. So I immediately just clinch him and try to grapple him. And at the same time, I'm gonna turn to Jax and be like, "Are you sure I'm supposed to win?"
All right, make yourself a grapple check.
All right.
Oh.
Do this on D&D Beyond. Sorry, 1 second.
No problem. What's funny, he also rolled a natural 1. But that was his acrobatics, which is slightly lower, so it comes out to a 3. So you actually do. It's the sloppiest grapple imaginable. You just kind of lurch forward, kind of half catch, and just grabbing, and in his surprise, he's not really used to this. He just kind of tries to back away, but using your height advantage, kind of just lean into him. What else are you gonna do? 'Cause you got the grapple. Where he throws you off.
That is my action. I'm going
Well, this
to.
isn't really in like a
Oh, okay.
initiative.
Okay,
This
yeah.
is like, oh, you got the grapple. You don't have an advantage, but you have an advantage. So instead of him just immediately making the roll again to save, which would be his action.
Okay, so it's just freeform. Okay, yep.
Yeah, it's kind of a freeform back and forth thing.
No problem. I'm going to yeah, I'm just gonna like look for like any indication from my manager that this is not like he wants me to actually hit this guy, like because as far as we know, me and my manager have an understanding. So I'm just like kind of giving him the eye, like I'm like, because there's just like a little bit of vomit coming out of my mouth.
He looks back at you and just shrugs. And...
Okay, I'm gonna low blow him.
All right.
I just kind of like in the messy grapple, I'm just gonna give him a shot under the belt.
A shot under the belt. All right, go for it. And because you have the grapple, I'll say you do have advantage.
Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't roll with advantage, but yeah, I can.
That's fine. I mean, 21 hits.
Yeah, I imagine that hits, right? So...
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I got to roll it here. Sorry, guys.
That's fine. These sorts of things happen. Six points of bludgeoning damage. Definitely bludgeoning. So you just swing your fist down and just make a solid impact. And he kind of and looks up at you with quite terrifying rage in his eyes. And he is going to try and break the grapple. That is... So go ahead and make your contested athletics.
14.
A 14. That is actually enough. You roll a 13. So he kind of goes to shove you away. But he's kind of obviously reeling a bit, and you're just able to hold on, pressing your weight against him. And he is just going to make a blind shot up at your head at disadvantage because you've got him grappled. That is still a 15 to hit. Does that hit you?
That just misses my armor class. 16 is my armor class.
All right. So you just kind of and can't quite get you. You're still holding on. What you got?
I'm just gonna be like, I'm gonna turn to Jacques and I'm gonna be like, I'm a little confused, so I'm gonna just let go of my grapple and then just lower my hands for a moment.
All right. So he's gonna take a swing at you unless you got something else.
No, that's all I'll do.
All right. So he's just gonna take a hack at you, or not a hack rather, but a smack at you. That is 16.
Okay. Yeah, that hits me.
Right? Yeah. Okay, so that hits you. It does 11 points of bludgeoning damage.
So usually Pep will like over dramatize him getting fallen out, but this one actually just knocks me out, I believe, as I just collapse in a slump.
So he just like rushes forward with an agility that is unimaginable for someone with that frame. You kind of expect him to be lumbering and slow, but he just skips forward on light feet and sets his back foot and comes with kind of an uppercut hook that catches you right on the back of the jaw, and everything immediately goes white and then black as your head smacks against the canvas. And the crowd immediately is, and then, oh, come on! As the fight is now clearly over, with one of the participants just eyes closed, unmoving on the canvas, and the dwarf just stands over. Really? Before throwing his hands up and walking back to the corner as the bell rings out again. And Nestor, quickly, obviously not expecting it to be over quite this soon, scrambles back up the top. Well, what a spectacular grand finale! How unexpected! Thank you all for coming. This was a wonderful, wonderful opening to the Festival of Light. I hope to see all of you here again tomorrow, where we will be presenting all manner of wonders, as it were. The menagerie will, of course, be available throughout the entirety of the circus. Although the sun has now set, there will be plenty of time tomorrow. All of you be safe as you make your way back to your dwellings. And thank you again for coming. Now several boos start to ring out, and garbage and food is kind of thrown onto the canvas. And Nestor now hops down and just glares at Jacques for a moment before continuing back, and people begin to file out, many of them very disappointed in this unfortunate turn of events. And
Desiel looks at Omnia. He's like, "Do you think you should tend to pep the obliterated?"
And I turn and I give a first real look, because I was kind of looking more around the place than at the ring necessarily. I look over at him. Is he like bleeding or something, or is he just like knocked out?
Obliterated would be an incredibly apt term to describe what he looks like right now. His jaw is kind of pushed off a little bit to the side, possibly broken. Some blood kind of dribbles out. You see a few teeth kind of lying next to him on the canvas in small puddles of blood. And no one really seems to be going out, except for the workers, including you, Lyra, make their way out of the tent, or out of the backstage tent up into the main tent to start moving things around and tearing down the canvas. The kind of de facto leader, bulky worker, human or elven man, kind of just gestures towards you. Can you get rid of him so we can tear this thing down? Just move him out of the way.
Just get rid of him means to move him out of the way, or you want me to get rid of him? Oh, okay,
What?
Sorry. Miscommunication. I'm going now. And I walk over to Pep. And kind of like...
Before...
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, before they start dragging the limp body of the guy on the floor, I'm just going to go, I think you might be right. And I trace almost kind of like a scale, invisible scale in the air, and a little purple ray shoots towards the body as I cast Healing Word. And I go, Vitrigio. And it goes...
I'll just kind of be like, oh, because it probably like whizzed past me.
Just like
Yeah.
streaks past you and into the unconscious body.
And
yes, go
you
ahead.
heal 4 plus 4, so 8 hit points.
Yeah, so as you're kind of sitting there in this grayed out, half-conscious state, and all of a sudden you feel kind of this jolt and cold light that just racks through you. Your heartbeat kind of speeds up for a few moments. You just kind of sit up, now suddenly energized, although still aching from your ordeal, you're awake and alive.
I spit out a tooth.
Yeah, and there is in front of you, whom, Kendra?
You see in front of you a shorter human, probably about like 5'3". She has short black hair with bangs, a scar on her cheek, slightly crooked nose. If you look kind of carefully, her armor that she's wearing is a little bit too oversized and a little bit too used. And on her side, she carries a broken short sword and a journal. And I will approach you and just kind of like point to the tooth and then point to you and be like, wow, you're really not that good at fighting, are you?
I mean, the guy's called the Obliterator, to be fair.
True. You probably should come up with like a greater name than the Obliterator.
Oh, I'm gonna pick up my tooth.
Oh, you're just gonna pop that?
Jam it back in.
Oh. So you don't need me to drag you out? You're good? You can make it?
Well, I heard that I was supposed to get some gold. Do you know anything about that?
I'm just a volunteer. I don't really deal with the money situation, but I can help you try to find somebody who deals with that.
All right. Well, I don't know where my manager went.
Yeah, and as you look around, normally after a fight, he would be going up to you, probably, in most instances, pulling you off the canvas himself, kind of lightly tending to you, but he's nowhere to be seen at the moment, and neither is any of Emeroc's retinue. They've all kind of made their way backstage, but you didn't see where Jacques went.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'd appreciate the help. I need to get paid,
Yeah, sure.
I heard there's gold this time, not just copper.
You get gold for losing in your profession?
That's a good point. No,
Yes,
I usually just get copper.
It was very heavily implied that the golds that Jacques referred to was in reference to the fact that the odds were not, he is, of course, a bookkeeper himself, the odds weren't exactly in your favor. Emeroc being a well-known fighter, you being no one anyone's heard of, really. And so if you had won, his small investment would turn into a much larger investment on your end.
Well, I hope you didn't bet on me. But yeah, if you could lead me to your boss, I'd like to get paid. Even a couple coppers so I can get a drink for this headache.
Yeah, sure. Do you need help, or can you get up by yourself? Like, don't look too great.
Yeah, I can get up, and I'll pull myself up, and it'll be very laborious.
As you stand up several times, slightly slipping in the slick blood that coats parts of the canvas now, and looking around, you can see the arena has mostly emptied out, apart from 3 people. There is, up kind of in one back corner, you can pick out from her very tall hat, whom precisely, Cat? So you see in the distance, just kind of grinning and staring at this interaction.
You see a small girl just kind of watching you. Obviously, the most noticeable thing about her is her hat. There's clouds on top of it that swim sort of lazily around it, and kind of the same manner that she's sort of watching the clouds almost look just nonchalantly like they're hanging around, curious about what's going on. The point of the hat is quite floppy, and it looks very much like it would move as she does, though she's oddly still at the moment. There's, tapping of foot going on and the twitching of hands that kind of allude to the fact that she's not very good at sitting still. Long, pale blue hair floats behind her and sort of joins her long navy blue robe, just sort of floating gently around her. The robe itself is also adorned with clouds. You gather clouds are going to be a theme here, though these ones are more of an artistic sort of pattern rather than actual clouds. Beneath the robes looks what looks to be sort of like a uniform, though it would unlikely pass any dress code wherever it was a uniform for now, being heavily modified. The only items that look even mildly protective on her, a leather belt she has with some straps on it that you gather leading under her robe to some sort of pouches and things, and a small dagger she has strapped to her thigh just below the hemline of her shorts. She, unless you count the numerous tassels as like a distraction mechanism of protection, she's not very well armored. She is, however, staring right at you guys, piercing blue eyes that are kind of very sharp against her otherwise cute and youthful, sort of softer faced, and she's just unnervingly grinning at you, just...
Apart from that, as you get off the canvas in the direction that the strange bolt of light came from, you look over and kind of leaning up against the side of the bleachers, not really sitting on, not on them, is in fact two individuals. One of whom taller, one of whom less so. Start with John.
Desiel Al Cuervo is a life half-elf of average height. He's got a friendly gleam in his green eyes, dark brown, almost black hair flowing past his shoulders, and a slight olive tinge to his tan skin. As he runs his hair out of his face and behind his slightly pointed ear, a dark crescent-shaped scar is evident, traveling from just above his left eye to the outer edge of his cheek below. His loose-fitting shirt, slightly open at the top, upon a leather cord is sometimes visible hanging a downward-pointing triangle. His dark, well-fitted pants are tucked into his leather boots, and the daggers accompanying the pouches at his waist complete the look one might call a bit roguish, though beneath his sleeved, trench-like cloak, there is a tome of sorts bound to his left hip. And beside him is his friend.
Well, besides him, there is a fairly tall, maybe 6'11", maybe 7 feet tall. He has sort of also a lightly tan skin with some olive features. He stands very in almost a prepared position, as if he couldn't really sit comfortably or stand comfortably with the amount of people, even though now the crowd has died down a little bit. You look towards him, he wears a sort of chains underneath a larger robe, a sleeveless robe with a dark color with purple and green accessories. He wears kind of these are kind of armbands that are black with a few green and purple accessories, like little, not even gems, but like little metal things. He wears a long cape that goes down to almost like his calves, which is black also with like two little metal objects that are stuck to his robe that's over his armor, and on the back of his armor you can see just the almost like a staff with a metal tip, and if you look downwards you can see a blade at the edge of the staff. And if you start looking up, you see that he wears an eye patch over his right eye, and he has shoulder-length black hair with a very large ponytail on top as it falls straight, some parts into, like, above his shoulders, some parts up to the ponytail that he has. And right above it, you see a very faint purplish halo over his head. And as I see Pep starting, as I see the men starting to get up and talk to the lady, I go, You're welcome.
Do you know that? Thank you, man. No. Okay, just smile and wave.
Did he do something?
Hey, you. She'll point.
Yes.
Were you the one who shot the purple lighty thingy through the tent?
Yes. The one that stopped that man from dying. Yes, it was me.
Oh, he saved your life.
Oh.
Oh.
Thanks. I'll buy you a drink.
I mean, I'm also kind of saving your life, so...
Okay, I'll buy you a drink too. I mean, I'm gonna be loaded soon.
Cool.
I think.
I turn over to Desiel and I go, were they really gonna leave him for dead?
This seems to be the case. I don't know. Though it seems to me that they have their champion, and he is simply one of the townspeople that they grabbed to be obliterated, for the amusement of the assembly. So I suppose they find a new individual to be obliterated every town to which they travel, and so they probably care very little for him, I would assume.
That sounds unnecessarily cruel. Well,
yes, indeed.
at least.
But this is the way.
As
in some places.
I see. Well, I figure. Okay. Give me 1 second. And I start walking towards where I see the figure and the lady, and I go, I don't know what exactly is going on, but you should be talking to the guy. Go, you should be more careful. Next time you might not be so lucky as to have someone around.
Oh, usually my manager's around, he wakes me up, splashes some water on me, some smelling salts, wakes me up real quick, I don't know where he went, though. This is strange.
Do you have a manager?
Yeah, Jacques. He's like about this tall, black hair, little greasy. I don't know if you saw him. He was supposed to be in a corner, but I look back.
I believe the phrase is, you have been sold out.
Huh. Sold out.
Indeed.
You sure? I mean, sometimes he just goes and gets a drink while I'm fighting, because,
This is possible. You know him better than I do, of course.
Huh. You see a look of worry come over Pep's face.
Yeah, this is highly unusual for Jacques to be doing anything of this sort.
Huh. Well, I owe you all a drink. You're invited too, and I'll point to our half-elf friend. Although I didn't catch your names. I'm Pep, by the way.
Pep the Obliterated, no?
Yeah. I kind of like that, actually. Makes me sound scary, doesn't it?
Yes, absolutely. It's a fitting title, I promise.
Yes, it does.
My name is Desiel Al Cuervo.
Nice to meet you.
My name is Amnael Bryatos. Pleasure to meet you.
Hi, I'm Tempest. You just hear from behind a wall of people.
Well, the people have now almost completely migrated out. So now it's just this strange girl in the stands now calling out.
I've like come down behind them while they were talking, and I'm just like from behind. You just maybe see like the point of a witch's hat from behind them, but I'm very sure.
Are you a part of this this fight, the betting and whatnot?
Oh heavens no, that was a terrible fight. I want to know what that glowy purple thing was though.
That was my friend Amiel. He was saving the life of this Pip person.
Very impressive. Can you do that naturally, or is it something you learn?
Well, I didn't necessarily learn it, but it was. I don't know if you dabble on the magical arts, but it was a gift given to me.
Oh, okay. So like a religious sort of thing. You got like a god or something.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, no, I've met a couple of people like you before, though not too many. Interesting to find one just wandering around a circus.
Well, let's just say that me and my friend here have been on a bit of a journey, and some leisure time is always good to keep ourselves distracted.
Vacations are always recommended.
Indeed.
And I'm going to lean around them, and you should probably take a vacation from the fighting industry. Just lean back.
I mean, that's how I make my money, you know.
But you make a lot of money for losing the fights.
I make like 5-6 coppers a fight. Not bad.
This makes sense. So you are paid to lose the fight, so people who bet on the other individual win the money, no?
Isn't that
I mean-
cheating?
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say, well, it's not cheating. It's just, I'm losing purposely, you know. But,
So this was all on purpose.
well, no, this one, my manager told me to win this one.
Oh.
And usually that's not on the table. You know?
So that was winning for you.
No, I mean,
Okay.
that's why I was a little bit confused. You see the hugging part? That's because there was a little bit of a confusion with me and my manager, because I thought, you know. Also, don't tell anyone about this. No one will hire me anymore if you start telling people I lose fights.
I don't think we need to tell anyone. Though, if you were trying to win, why did you stop fighting? That's generally not recommended.
Well, yeah, I don't know.
Perhaps he
you
was
are
not
bad
having
at
much
it.
practice actually trying to win. And he lose so much, he forgot how to win.
That's possible. I mean, when I was younger, I used to win all the time, and then, I don't know, I'm getting old now, I guess.
Oh no, you're the type of person that peaked in school. Poor soul.
Oh, yeah. Just,
How old is
now I
Chris?
just...
Look. more
so
or
he's
less.
like, he looks like he's late 20s, early 30s, you know.
Yeah, he was level 20 as a third grader, and it just kind of went downhill. From there.
Yeah. Just kept dying, you know, and then going back a level.
Quick question, because I'm getting very mixed up signals here. Do I believe it?
Do you? I mean, you could make an insight check.
21.
21? What does a 21 do you think get him? What's kind of his disposition?
Peps, I mean, you, to be honest, I think you would feel like he's not lying to you because you did just save his life. Why would he lie to someone that saved his life? You know,
Yeah.
Seems pretty honest. I mean, he's a little gross and hungover, but I don't think that really has anything to do with his honesty. But yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
You were
It was
winning
just
these fights. Oh.
No, please. I was just gonna ask. It's really odd circumstances all around, because you, pointing at Pep, got pretty much beat down, and you are working here for free, pointing at Lyra, or at the elven, or the looking like human girl. Like, you're working here for free.
Yeah,
And-
of course. Why wouldn't I be? I mean, Nestor's here.
You know, the nature of the word work is you do a thing and you get paid for the thing.
Yeah, no, I've had a job or 2 or 23, but I thought for this, my payment is Nestor.
Nestor. Oh, you are sleeping with an individual named Nestor who runs the entire show.
Sleeping with. No, we don't share a bed. Is that normal?
Okay. I don't know. What is your payment that this Nestor gives you?
I shook his hand today.
Oh, how wonderful for you.
It was pretty great.
Yeah, me and Diziel for a second we shared the exact same expression. We just look at each other and go,
Which, speaking of which, I really need to get him out of this tent, and I suppose all of you, I'm supposed to be working. Yes, working.
Yes, absolutely. Forgive us for your intruding upon your work.
You're
yes.
forgiven.
Yes.
Oh,
So
thank you.
at this point in the conversation, the rest of the workers, many of them giving a glance at Lyra, kind of a bit annoyed, have broken down the ring. It was pretty easy to set up and tear down, you know, the way circuses and carnivals are. And packed away and walked back to the back, and now you're just completely alone in this empty room. So you walk back kind of to check up on them. And you see them kind of huddled in the off to themselves, you know, chatting. A few of them kind of looks over at you and just, around the rest of the room, Nestor isn't really anywhere to be found. You can see in one corner towards the exit back out towards the carriages, or the wagons rather. A man kind of matching the description, and as well as you had seen him in Pep's corner of his manager, kind of with his back against the canvas, being spoken to by individual heavy-set individual that maybe you had seen involved with Amarok, one of the humans who was just kind of there with him talking. Looks like he's talking to him very sternly, and Jacques is just kind of, you can't make out what they're saying, but there's some talk back and forth, and he kind of holds his hands up.
Attempt to eavesdrop again.
You certainly can, so make a stealth check as you kind of slip up close to them, or try to. Hey, yeah, stealthy as the wind. So while the rest of you kind of stand still back in the main tent, we'll hear you slink forward, kind of slipping behind people as they walk past, getting closer, and you kind of set yourself behind a crate, put your ear up near them, and you can hear, what the hell was that? You promised us a fight. You know what you lost him in reputation? I don't know what to tell you. I just found the guy. He said he was good, okay? He said he was good. He duped me as much as he duped you. The man actually slaps him across the face. Don't lie to me. You get out there. He points to the exit towards the carriages. And you meet with my friends and we discuss how we fix this. Okay? Understand? Grabs him on kind of by the scruff of his neck, bunching up his shirt, just kind of tosses him forward out back of the tent, out of your shot.
I'll walk back to Pep and be like, I think I found your manager. He...
Oh, really?
Yeah, he is also a fighter?
No, he sucks at fighting. He's worse than me.
Oh, I saw him. He got slapped in the face. He was pretty bad.
Got slapped?
Yeah, it was pretty gnarly. And then he got taken to his friends by the carriages.
Alright, can you show me where the carriages are?
I'll kind of look around the tent. Is there like really anything to do for me right now?
Not really.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, there is like people starting to break down the wooden bleachers, but no one was really paying you any attention. Like you could pretty easily slip away, and no one would really notice.
Okay.
Can we watch Lyra? Is it Lyra or Lyra?
Lyra.
Lyra.
Did we watch Lyra go and like essentially listen in on conversation, or did she somehow slip away from us?
You watched her slip, like because you said, "Oh, you should probably get back to your work," and she's like, "Oh yeah," and she ran backstage, and you
Okay.
saw her go past the curtain, be there for a minute or so,
Okay.
and then come back. You didn't really see you couldn't see what happened in the meantime because there was the curtain in the way.
So
While that's going on, sorry, just real quick,
Okay.
while that's going on, because our witch hat friend is super excitable about magic, and as far as I know, she isn't too keen on the usage of magic. I just go, well, this is also pretty cool, and I start talking, and I again wave my hands on kind of a similar motion, and I go, ah, and I cast thaumaturgy to make my voice echo around the chamber because now as it's empty, it's probably going to echo a lot.
Yeah. Your voice just rings out and echoes off the walls in all sorts of fun ways.
Can you do that for any sound, or is it just your voice? That would be so useful.
clearly,
I can,
when they speak of someone who likes the sound of their own voice, clearly.
excuse you.
I mean, I guess it would have its uses if you have a really nice voice. You could tell, like, group story time. You would be great in the theater. But I have other usages in mind. Though I suppose if it's something that a god bestowed you, I'm not exactly qualified for it.
Well, I don't know. I cannot make it too loud, but I can. And I stop to think about it, and like I see the clouds. Like, could I see the cloud in your clothing?
You can see the clouds floating around my hat as well. So I've got like painted clouds all over the edges of my robes and the edges of my sleeves. But
I'll go. Then how do you like this? And I'll thaumaturgy again, but this time the sound of thunder.
That's where it's at. I feel infinitely more fabulous. And she's going to do like a little spin, and her robe is going to flare out, and some lightning is going to start crackling on the clouds.
You know, I have to admit, I always imagined you having a conversation with your god. And this conversation goes more or less, "Oh, supreme deity, would you take time out of your day to help me do a party trick?"
It doesn't necessarily take time out of his day, and let's just say that I did a good action for the day, and let's call this my reward.
Your work.
You also got to know how to word it, right? It's, "Oh, supreme deity, would you mind please bestowing upon your humble follower the power to bring joy to a young girl in the circus, which is a home of joy? It's only natural. Help me restore the natural order of the world."
Are you in the circus?
Well, I'm standing in a circus.
No, I mean, this makes sense. Are you in the circus? Are you a part of the circus? It looks like you look like you could be part of the circus.
I mean, no. I mean, from the looks of this guy, I don't think I want to be the part of this one, at least.
No, this is no.
And the other lady I met, she was grumpy as hell. Sensitive about her age, too. This is a very unhappy circus.
No. Which is why I thought maybe perhaps you were in the circus and you were the happy part of the circus.
Well, you know what makes you
thank
happy?
you.
Ale.
Oh,
So
here comes. What you were saying?
I'm just saying, if you want to be happy, I mean, we can go to the tavern, shoot back a couple, cheers me up usually.
Oh,
I don't know. Tempest has one of those faces where it's like she could be of age, but she could also not be of age. So like,
Oh, are you? I'll notice that and be like, never mind.
For drinking,
No,
this
never
is
mind.
a European tavern, as there is no age. There is no age.
You know what is being of age to drink? Having the money to pay for it.
Indeed. Oh, here comes your friend from the worker who does not get paid.
This is trots
Did you
back up to you guys.
Did you find your Nestor fellow and his boss, his manager?
I didn't find Nesta, but I found your manager.
Okay. Where is he?
He's with his friends.
Okay, can you lead me there? I don't really know my way around here. I just need to get paid. If you guys want to come along, I can get you that drink, by the way. I kind of point to
I'll
everyone
take a
else.
drink. Drink.
Yeah, sure. Follow me.
Sure.
It was kind of weird though. His friends, maybe it's a thing where you're from. His friend slapped him across the face. Is that normal?
I'm just gonna put this out there. I don't think that's normal anywhere. But I can definitely ask him. I mean, Jacques he's kind of a quiet dude, you know, kind of keeps to himself, always writing in his books, I don't know, doing math and stuff.
I really need to know the answer. Do you slap your friends in the face? So we need to find
No,
No?
well, yeah, well,
Yes,
I don't,
no,
but
no.
do you guys? I'm going to turn to everyone else. You guys slap people in the face? I don't, friends.
I do not generally, but I am not one to judge if individuals wish to partake in this sort of thing. But generally, it is not commonly accepted. I do not think.
Yeah, I agree. Like, even you, like, looking at Dizio, I at one point had motive to want to slap you on the face, but I didn't. So
I don't know. Well, I have not slapped you in the face either. But if you would like, we can slap each other in the face and get it over with.
well, I don't know. Your arm would reach my face, and I don't really feel like squatting at the moment. But maybe at another point.
Okay, so I'm going to put a tentative maybe to slapping friends in the face.
Generally, I do not think you should slap a friend in the face unless the friends ask you to be a slap.
Yes.
Okay, so slap your
Consent
friends
slapping.
with consent. Okay, I got it. And
With
just roll
consent, indeed.
Did my
Just
manager
roll
seem
it.
like
The
Sorry?
new motto, our new motto: slap your friends with consent.
Okay,
Indeed.
consensual slapping? Yes.
okay. Got it.
How tall is Amniel? Out of character?
7 feet.
Oh, you're like a
Mosquito
giant.
I was gonna be like, how
Fine.
fucking short do you think I am? Oh, okay.
Tempest is gonna like lean over to Desiel and just like stage whisper, being like, "You and me, we can tag team him."
Indeed. Okay. Is this a consensual thing, or are you saying we should?
You'll have had
Forgive me.
no clue of like all the innuendos completely over her head. She was just thinking like 5 feet, 5'8", like we could tower over him and like.
Yes, indeed. Yes.
Standing on the shoulders, yeah.
How tall is Tempest, by the way?
Like 5 feet.
5'1". I gave her an extra inch just because I'm like,
She needs
just an extra 2.5 centimeters. Why not?
And 5'8" works for me, so I'm 5'8". So there we go. 5'8", 5'10"-ish.
Well, if you follow me, I will take you to your friend and you to his friend.
Yeah, I am interested in meeting this Nestor, whose handshakes are so wonderful they can get you to work for free.
Yes.
Or I could give you a handshake if there is something perhaps you are looking for a job when this is finished. I will be happy to shake your hand.
Mine will
If
kind
we-
of give
do
you
we
like
have-
a once over and be like, maybe later. Come on.
Very well.
I imagine literally Desiel with his arms open, like, huh? Huh?
He does not have a big old beard. He's a
Like
good-looking
that, it's
half elf.
It's like the picture of Will Smith at whatever award show that was with his wife, where he's just like
Yeah.
M-Nail with Desiel, just like, eh?
I'm there with jazz hands.
Yeah.
Like Fonzie, like, hey.
All right, so you're gonna lead him to where you saw. Are you gonna take him through the backstage, or are you gonna head out and around from the outside?
I mean, Lyra doesn't know that her coworkers are kind of upset with her. She doesn't really pick that up, so she's just gonna go through the backstage.
She leads you through this curtain. And now there are more people kind of going through, some moving through, pulling wood and chairs back through the curtain, back through to put up for the night. Although it looks like just kind of the extra stuff. Most of the seating is staying there. But like the you paid a lot of money for this seats, the ones that you don't want to get wet, because it's been raining pretty consistently over the last week or so. So the ground where there's this ground is very soft and some places muddy. So they don't really, they want to keep some things clean for the people who pay a lot of money. And so you're kind of able to avoid most of your coworkers. Although you do see several of them who just, maybe others of you notice, kind of just glaring at her and like, what is she doing?
I'm just smiling at them with a really big face.
Blissfully unaware.
Yeah.
And of course, Jacques and his friend are not there anymore, having moved out back towards the carriages or the wagons. Are you going to take them in that direction, out through the backstage?
Yeah.
All right, so you walk. The whole thing is probably about 50 feet square, so 50 feet by 50 feet. And you work through that out into this somewhat open area that's ringed by large wagons, one of which at the very back is much nicer. It's kind of painted red and has gold lettering on the side that says the Wondrous Nestor. Presumably that is where he lives, works, travels, does whatever. That appears to be his carriage. Others around the side, some are open. One looks like it has kind of set up for large cages to go on it, maybe the animal cages. Many others are covered. You're kind of out in this open area that's kind of where everyone gathers, where the circus people gather when they're not performing, when they're not just kind of out around town. So you see several acts. There are the acrobats that you saw earlier are kind of huddled around one campfire because it's getting pretty dark now. The sun is just about set fully. So any light is going to be by torchlight. None of you see. Well, let's see. Pep, are you looking? You're probably looking for Jacques, right?
Is it like really dark here?
Yes. How dark is it?
It's not incredibly dark, but it's dark enough that the shadows are very. The shadows have kind of disappeared into just darkness. It's like twilight.
Like, is it Lord of the Rings dark or Game of Thrones dark?
It is.
Like, you got to change your fucking contrast to see anything.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Like we can see each other, and
it is Lothlorien, not Moria. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So it's dark, but it's not like pitch black.
Yeah.
Basically, if we were playing a game where the mechanics based on, if you had certain dark vision or like dim light,
in that case, it would probably, if we were doing that, it would be dim lighting.
Oh, okay.
But kind of at the lower end.
I look over and I kind of see Pep squinting around. I figure he can't really see too well, so I'll very quietly do this motion with my hands, put them on the ball of my chest, and I just open, and as I open, I make a very small little mote of light, and I cast light.
You cast it on a thing, or just?
I believe you can create globules on your hands.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken. Oh no, it actually has to be an object. Okay, so I'll take my shield from underneath my cape, and I'll cast light on my shield.
Whoa!
Won't see us.
That's a pretty cool shield.
It's
nothing.
It's just a piece, and it's literally like it has nothing. It's just a piece of metal. It's just it's a thing.
I've never seen a magical shield before.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Thank you, I guess.
No, thank you.
All right, so make your quick investigation check as you're kind of.
This is gonna go real bad.
Is that looking for what?
Well, who would? Yeah, everyone can make it.
Okay.
If you're looking for,
For
as long as you're
what?
looking for Jacques.
Oh, I don't know that I would recognize Jacques. So.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
You would have seen him in
Okay, sure.
in his corner.
In his corner.
You would
Okay.
have seen the person in his corner, the singular person in his corner during the fight. It wouldn't be hard to deduce that.
Okay.
My contribution was the light. I am not looking for it.
I have no interest in finding this random guy that I have had no association with. I'm just here for the vibes.
Yeah, and there are plenty of interesting people. There are the acrobats, many of whom are very flexible and kind of stretching in very odd ways. It's like, making sure they don't get too stiff and things like that.
I'm gonna get distracted by them. I want to try and just imitate the stretches they're doing.
All right, make an acrobatics check.
Meanwhile, Desiel will lean over Thumbnail and be like, another one who appears to be learning the social mores, pointing at Lyra.
Well, I guess there are a few of us with somewhat unfamiliarity, especially since, not everywhere people are the same. Apparently here people slap each other with
No, this is not the thing. They do not slap each other. Okay? Do not be confused by the conversation. Do I need to get you a book like she has so that you can take the notes?
Actually, I would really appreciate it.
I will keep an eye out for a book.
Okay.
All right. So, Desiel, you're the only one to see this. The rest of you, it's still, even with the light, the shadows of the wagons make it difficult to see past them, and the fact that they're just wagons. But looking kind of sweeping underneath, you can see in some of the flickers of one of the campfires, and then also some of Desiel's glow. Kind of underneath on the other side, of one of the wagons off to the left, it's kind of the left back side. There's a puddle formed underneath the wheels, and laying in that puddle, looks like the crumpled up body, just kind of laying on its side, with greasy black hair, kind of tossed over, just over haphazardly, all messed up.
With the dim light, can I see the color of the puddle?
Well, you can't see it. Desiel.
Well, yeah, because I wasn't looking. Yeah.
So the rest of you don't see this. Desiel, you can catch this out of the corner of your eye. And
do I see anybody else around at the time?
It doesn't. There don't appear to be anyone else. Like can't see anybody's legs. There are footprints, kind of very clearly marked out around the area, like a bunch of footprints.
And how far is this from us?
This is probably, you could see this about 100 or so feet away.
Okay. He'll kind of elbow Thumbnail, and he'll point over. Shine your light over there. Perhaps. Hey, Pip, is that your friend?
Yeah.
And he'll point under the carriage, like a little ways away.
I'll stretch my arm as far out, and since light is only 20 feet and dim light, it doesn't really get to the point. So what I'll do is I'll start taking that piece of wood that I carry on my back, and it has a large blade at the tip. And so I'll put my hook, like the hook of the blade, in between the rings where your arm goes on the shield, and I'll carry it almost like a torch forward, and I'll start very slowly walking towards it.
Desiel sees you do this, and he stoops down and he picks up a little stone. He's like, would you be able to do that thing on the stone? The light. Make it like a light.
Yeah, sure. And I retract my thing, put it back, and I go, look, and cast light on the stone.
He'll sling it over underneath the carriage.
All right, it kind of lands in the puddle. Are you trying to are you going to get closer before you throw it? Because it's still a bit of a way.
He'll just toss it. He's pretty dexterous.
Yeah, so make either acrobatics or athletics. I presume acrobatics.
Acrobatics. Barely, not today.
No, it kind of you underestimate or you overestimate the weight of this stone. So you kind of put a little too much behind it. and it blacks off the wood of the carriage. It bounces back about 10 feet. So it illuminates the situation a lot better than previously, but
it's not under the carriage.
Kind of missed your target a little bit. It's not quite under the carriage. It actually makes it a little harder to see with the strange reflections and shadows.
Is over there. I don't know. I don't see any. Yeah.
All right, and so you're gonna head over, and as we head over, just to keep the suspense, I'm gonna call a quick break. 10 minutes. If anyone's here, don't go anywhere. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Ready.
And we are live.
And here we.
Yeah, exactly. So you guys have located, or presumably located, your target. Pep, you begin in a very concerned manner, moving towards this area that is illuminated with his enlightened stone. And now, as you get closer, you see he is kind of duck and look over and see on the other side. Indeed, it appears to be your manager, just down in a puddle, his back to you, laying on his side, head kind of.
Okay.
I'm
going to do what my manager does for me. I'm going to turn him over on his back and then just splash him.
Are you going to go around the wagon? Under the wagon?
Well, I'm going to go under the wagon. I'm going under the wagon. Yeah.
Under the wagon. A couple of people over at some fire is going to give you some odd looks. But this is a circus. I mean, literally a circus.
Desiel is taking a wide angle and just looking for whoever may have done this. Any bad guys. Anyway, you can do his thing. I was just letting you know that's what I'm.
Yeah, and if I see Desiel kind of start looking around, I'll also peer around.
Pep, you do that. Make me a medicine check. Because he is unconscious. You can see he's alive, but he is out. His eye is already starting to kind of swell. You see, at least a chipped tooth, if not several broken off completely. Just bloody nose. He's been roughed up very badly.
No.
So go ahead and roll medicine to see if you can kind of wake him up, or if you're going to require something else.
I'll splash him with water. Wake up.
Muddy puddle water.
Oh,
holy shit! You get mud in his eye.
Yeah, you kind of splash him and kind of smack his face, and he. Pep, is that you?
Oh, what happened?
Spits out what remains of one of his teeth.
That's my move.
And he staggers to his feet and kind of pushes you away. Wipes some of the mud and dirt out of his eyes and mouth. You. What the hell was that?
You looked hurt. I tried to wake you up.
You were not that, you idiot.
Oh.
You were supposed to fight.
Well, okay. His name is the Obliterator.
What's your point? They've all got names like that.
He's got a hell of a left hook, man.
You hell of a left. What?
Who did this to you?
The hell kind of? Who do you think?
Oh,
Who's Amarok's people? They felt cheated. They wanted some money, so they took all of it, everything I had on me, and they took the key to the safe in the carriage. It's all gone too.
The safe?
All of it. All of it's gone.
Oh my goodness! I promised some of my new friends here some drinks. Do you have some copper at least, or like?
Everything. They took all of it because of you. Because you couldn't stand yourself up straight for 2 minutes and even make it look good. You just went down like a sack of potatoes because that's all you're good for. And he starts walking away, trying to get mud off of his clothes.
I'll drag him out of under the cart. All right. Well, maybe I can talk to them and maybe they'll give us the money back.
It's your funeral.
How much money did they take?
They took every bet I made, which was about 30 silver. Everything I already had on me, about the same total. And then everything in the chest, a couple gold. I don't remember off the top of my head. And he pulls out a soggy notebook that he flips, and looks like it has his calculations and well, books on what was in it. It was there was 20 gold in that safe.
That's a lot of money. Oh.
To the likes of you.
Well,
So what, you're just gonna go get it back?
yeah, I mean, well, yeah, well, here, there's this one guy back here. He kind of points to the 7-foot tall person. Yeah, he could do some pretty cool stuff. I mean, maybe he could help us out. Like,
Are you guys gonna come around to the outside? Because now we're on the outside of this circle, kind of just with open field behind you, tall grass.
I assume we don't see anyone else. They just left him. They just started him.
No, you don't see anybody else.
I mean, if I don't see anyone else, like I'll circle around and eventually get to them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
You're fine.
Yeah, I mean, I'll lead them to my group of newly acquainted friends.
You're with this sorry excuse for a fighter.
listen, these
Do you know?
people-
At least he didn't know end up underneath in a wagon, no? In a pile of mud, missing
Yeah,
half of a tooth.
That's a good point. I agree with that point. And also, this one over here, and I'm gonna put to Lyra, said that you're like saying hi by slapping people. I don't know, something like happening. Like...
Yeah, I really hope you can clarify this for me. So, when you're friends with somebody from where you're from, do you slap each other in the face?
Were you spying on me?
Some say spying. My friend calls it reconnaissance. I don't know.
She was checking in on somebody else who just happened to be speaking to you. Jewel walked into her field of vision.
And besides, if it wasn't for her, I would hazard to guess that you wouldn't be so well right now.
You're welcome.
You will be drowning in mud.
Lyra, make a persuasion check.
Oh,
As the crux of this argument,
oh no.
make a
Okay.
persuasion check. 14. Yeah, he just continues looking at you. Fine, thanks, I guess. So what, is one of you a healer or something, or are you just wasting my time?
Well, yeah, this one's pretty. He lights stuff like shields.
Oh, what the freaking do?
I look over at him and I go, "You are very condescending. Do you know that?" And I kind of open-handed, push him in the middle of the chest, and right as I touch him, I cast Cure Wounds. Like, not push to shove, just like go forcefully healing him.
Alright. Go ahead and roll that.
Yes, so it's 1d6 plus 4. No,
Minus
actually,
1 for
1d8.
force damage.
1d8, sorry, I rolled the wrong thing. Because I do not have brain cells.
Alright, that's fine.
Um,
Roll a d8.
If I roll an 8, it's going to be very funny. No.
Such is the way of the dice.
Yeah.
So the sharpness of the contact diminishes the healing force you're kind of able to give to him. And it's like, I don't think you'd be all that happy if you were just lost all your money 'cause some bolts for brains over here get it together enough to make a fight look good.
You're a very unpleasant individual. Has
I'm in a
anyone ever
very
told you this?
I'm in a very unpleasant situation.
Roger, this is true.
Well, Jack, maybe we can, I mean, I can talk to, maybe we can get that, the guy who paid us to maybe, give us some more money or something. I don't know. You usually handle this type of stuff, so I don't know how it works. So.
Look, you do what you want. I'm gonna get back to the carriage and I'm gonna sleep, and in the morning I'm gone. I don't care what you do with your time.
Well, you're leaving me?
Leaving. If you want to come, you come. If you don't, I really don't care.
Curiosity. Why is it that these individuals took your money, and was it unjust of them to do so?
Look, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that they don't have a point. Okay? Look, I promised them a fight. A good one. Seems like Amarok's really the kind of guy that cares about that kind of thing. So it seems. He kind of gestures at his swollen eye and bloody mouth. I told them they'd have a real fight on their hands. That he was going to fight somebody competent. But no. Turns out he's just some lightweight who can't do no better than lose fights.
So did you put up a good fight then?
Who, me?
Yes, you. Did you give him a good fight, as promised? Clearly you are part of a fight. Did you put up a good fight? Or are you just some lightweight who only loses fights?
I'm not the one who fights. Got it? He's the one who fights. I make the money, so I'd watch it.
Desiel looks over at Pep. Juno, if you are the one who fights, you should be the one making the money.
Oh. That's a good point. You know what, Jack? You're fired.
Yeah, you work for me.
No, I learned of this thing called volunteers. They work without pay. So you're fired.
I pay you.
Did you
But
pay
I want
him?
someone who works with no pay.
Oh, yes. You are here, Mr. Pip, to be paid by Mr. Jock. Jock, are you going to pay Mr. Pip? Because you say you pay him.
Oh, yeah, sure. Have all the money in my pockets.
So you don't pay him?
Pulls out his empty pockets. I'm done with it. Do whatever you want, Pep.
I touch.
I don't need
this
you
one.
anymore. And he starts walking away. And
I'm also taking the horse.
Do we slap friends? You never answered.
He just holds up a very rude gesture. Well, you might not know it's rude. He holds up a gesture. The rest of you know.
He gives you the Hawaiian greeting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I tap Dizzy on the shoulder real quick, and I go, whispering to him, and I go, maybe we can retrieve that money. I mean, that Obliterator guy didn't seem too tough. Besides, there's at least 3 of us that would take him.
Yes, if you think we should get the money, we should get the money.
Supposedly it was 20 gold too. That's a lot of money, you know.
And was this in a box or something? Or did he have
it's
it
usually
in
in the safe. I don't know the password to the safe because, that's Jack's thing. But they
take
said
the entire safe?
Yeah, he took the whole thing. So I think this guy's pretty strong. You know, like he's lifting.
Well, I can open it in a safe. It's okay.
Okay.
And by safe, a wooden lockbox.
A strong box.
With a strong box.
Yeah.
No, it's not. We're not talking a bank vault that just fits into a wagon.
Yes. I believe I can can open in a strong box. So yes, I mean, if these are bad people who are taking money, then we should relieve them of the money which they have taken.
Hold on
And
a
then
moment. This sounds pretty... I'm supposed to be volunteering. Is this okay to do?
you're hired.
Oh,
Yes, absolutely. This is
Okay.
perfectly okay.
okay, sure.
They live in which a culture in which taking the money from somebody else is okay, and so we are simply continuing that trend. No?
Okay. I will volunteer
Yes.
for this.
Ah, very good. I shake your hand. And he holds his hand out. Very well. We have
I just-
another
I-
volunteer.
Not quite as nice of a handshake, maybe as Nestor, although you could be biased.
It's okay.
In the background of this whole interchange,
I haven't
Tempest has just been imitating, like distracted by those acrobats still.
Yeah, and let's
I
see, you
rolled
what,
an
13
acrobatics
on that?
check a while ago. I think it was a 13.
Yeah, 13.
So
You just-
how distracted am I?
Doing a pretty good job, but like they're clearly double jointed or something of that description, so you can't quite figure out how she gets her elbow to fold inside out while she stretches her shoulder. You can't quite figure that out, but you kind of put yourself in a similar position. It feels kind of weird. You can't figure out really why anyone would want to do this. But you spend a good while, most of this interaction, kind of trying to mimic the positions.
I'm satisfied. I'll like cartwheel back into frame.
So he looks over.
Make
So
an
should we-
acrobatics check for that.
Oh,
Should we invite little Miss Distraction over here?
It's a cartwheel with like a double round off. Like I end with jazz hands.
As she backflips into freight, launch like cartwheel hops up onto the carriage, backflips off the carriage, and lands perfectly. Like, did someone say my name?
I heard distraction.
Wow.
Oh,
you
Jess.
went for the circus. You're really good.
She is in the circus, she said earlier.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, people keep telling me this. Apparently, I need to go meet this Nestor guy. Though I don't know if I want to work for this circus. Like I said, everyone unhappy here. I mean, another guy, and I point off in the direction of Jacques or whatever his name is, of like another unhappy one. Like, this is a terrible circus as far as the joy thing goes.
Just
Not
me.
terrible. I mean, I'm here. I'm working for the circus. I think it's pretty okay.
Are you happy?
No, now you are working with us, no?
I mean, do I have to quit
No,
my job
she-
at the circus?
She's
no,
volunteering,
no.
technically.
Okay. Oh, phew.
You can volunteer at multiple places. It's great for your resume.
Oh,
Yes, you can be two things at once.
okay. I like this.
yes. For example, that guy is uneducated and an asshole.
Noted.
Yes.
Very
Very well.
good.
So there are 5 of us, and there is a strong box with a 20 gold, which has been reappropriated. And perhaps we should reappropriate it again.
Reappropriate. I like
I
it.
don't know what that word means, but I like it.
Just in the, we should get you paid, Mr. Pip.
Agreed.
Okay. Miss
Um,
Kendra is volunteering, and you are getting paid because you have not been paid. And Miss Blue is being a distraction.
I'm good at that.
Yes, indeed. Well, the 5 of us, let's go. And he looks around as if he has any fucking clue where to start.
Yeah, I was.
Because none of you really know where you're looking. There are
Actually-
a bunch of wagons set in that semicircle, and then kind of dotted through the surrounding fields over towards the town.
Would I have recognized the person he was talking to?
Well, you would have seen that he was part of the people who were around Amarok. You know, he was one of those people. You hadn't really make an intelligence check. See if you can remember. Saw where they parked, so to
You're
speak.
so good at those.
Yes.
Ooh. Yeah, not a clue. The whole most of the day has just kind of been a blur of setting things up, moving things around, looking for Nestor, not seeing Nestor, not really paying attention to where people were.
Mr. Pep, is it?
Yeah. What's up?
Would you happen to recall which of these wagons is the bastards? The one that you're.
My ex-managers? Yeah, this one right over here. And do I remember which one is on my wagon?
Which one is your wagon?
Or Jack's wagon.
Well, yeah, the wagon you came here in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of, you guys pulled up like not that long before you had to get started, because this was a last minute, like, pulled you in. Okay, we need somebody. Get over here. So you're pretty close to this circle. But you can see the kind of rundown, shoddy wagon a little bit outside of this semicircle. Things are being packed away. The few people that were kind of there with, not with you, but with Jacques, are packing everything away and getting ready to leave in a hurry.
Which way did Jacques go? Did he go in that direction?
Jacques went to the wagon, yeah.
Okay. So the wagon we found him under was not his wagon.
It was not his wagon, no. It
And
was one of the
anybody-
larger wagons in the circle.
and it
Or in
seemed
the
being-
ring around the tent.
nobody of interest appears to be in this area at the moment.
No, not really. You're kind of behind where the circus performers are.
Okay.
So there are people on the other side.
Whose
But unless you kind of
wagon-
go out into the fields away.
Whose wagon did we find him under? Do we know?
Don't really know. It was kind of a nondescript. Actually, yeah. So this is like the food wagon.
Okay.
This is where they keep their their perishable and non-perishable goods. This is where the cook would be.
Well, Mr. Pip, the wagon, Mr. Jacques' wagon, or the wagon of the people who would have taken the money from Mr. Jacques? Do you know where either of these are?
Well, I know they had us all in that back lobby area getting ready. I'm pretty sure the Obliterator was there too. We can maybe check there. I don't know where his wagon is, but I know where Jack's wagon is.
And the Obliterator was there as well.
Oh, I imagine he was getting ready, yeah.
He
Same
looks
place as I
over
was.
at Lyra. And was this the Obliterator that you saw with Mr. Jack?
No.
When the fight was happening, did like the posse of the Obliterator come out towards the ring as well, just like Jocks did for Pep?
What do you mean?
Like,
Like
did a
after-
posse come out with him to the ring? Like,
Yeah,
would I
they came out
seen
with
the
him
Somebody
people
was
and
wrestling.
seen- Yeah.
Okay, I would like to keep an eye out as I first go to Desiel and I go, well, you are much better at understanding things, so maybe you can accompany Mr. Pep to Jock's wagon, and maybe I can keep an eye out to see if I find anyone that might have been the cause for that guy to turn to such a blunt individual.
Yes, of course. Mr. Pip, let's lead the way.
All right. Just follow
As
me.
we walk, I'll be doing a 360, keeping an eye out to see if I recognize anyone that might have been with Emma.
And you're still outside the wagon circle, or are you gonna move in?
I'll do like a trying not to break visual with where Desiel and Pep are going, but I'll try to make like a round.
Okay, yeah, make an investigation check.
Okay.
We're looking for people in particular. Yeah.
This is gonna be FUN fun.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say something else.
Hawaiian greeting again.
Although the other thing you were thinking of would also be apt.
It's true.
For
14. Yeah. You kind of walk around, and when you get to, you guys are kind of from when you exited the tent on the left back side. So you're kind of halfway along the circle to your left side. So you kind of swing around past Nestor's wagon, and on the far other side, so the leftmost side from where you're standing now, against the wagon, or against the tent rather, there is a wagon that there is a campfire set in front of, and you notice a couple of the people who were with Amarok around this fire, eating and just chatting at the moment. You don't see Amarok himself.
Do they look ready to leave?
No, they're just chilling,
Okay.
enjoying their night.
I'll keep some distance, and I'll try to look over at where, because I imagine Pep and Diziel have gone further ahead. So I'm just gonna try to pick up any rock or anything off the floor. I'm gonna cast light at it, and I'm gonna throw it in the direction that I see the party, just so that I can try to call their attention.
All right. Yeah. So you guys are walking towards Jacques' wagon. The rest of you. So as you're making your way over there, you see the flick of the lighted rock. Turn over and see Nail kind of pointing in the direction of the people he saw.
I guess that's our cue.
So he points at the people. Like, do we now see essentially the people of interest, or
You see people who were around Amarok, and presumably that's his wagon. It's one of the larger wagons, or larger, more expensive wagons there, painted in all black, and is covered in wood. It's not stretched canvas; it's an actual wooden covered wagon.
Desiel will look at Lyra and be like, "Do any of those people over there appear to be the slappy people?"
Do they?
Yes, your resident slapper is there.
Yeah.
Just at the
that one.
fire eating.
Oh, well
You see a
done.
couple of them actually have like strips of cloth wrapped around their hands and knuckles. As you kind of get a little bit closer and take a closer look.
Should I go introduce us?
If you want, I can make a distraction. Do we want to be up front, or do we want to be?
I don't know if you guys are.
Is this a thing where we wish to simply acquire the goods and be on our way, or do we wish to confront these individuals and force our way through them in an effort to acquire the goods?
I just don't know how open someone called the Obliterator would be to talking, but we could definitely try.
You can begin speaking with them, and I can attempt to sneak in and acquire the strongbox.
Oh, okay.
And if that doesn't work, then it appears we are in confrontation anyway.
I like your thinking. Hey, and I'm gonna turn you, Cloud Girl. Can you do the distraction thing? Maybe, I don't know. I'll come along.
Just how many are there again? How many of them?
There are 4 of them around the fire.
Oh,
Of the 7 or 8, counting Amarok, who you saw initially.
Do we see a strongbox near them or underneath any of them or anything of the sort?
No, nothing at the fire.
And does there appear to be a wagon that is clearly pertains to them?
Yeah, so they're in front of one of the wagons that kind of has the sides opened.
Okay.
So they've kind of set up a little bit of an encampment. This looks like their wagon.
Okay, I have an idea for a distraction.
Okay.
You guys are going to have a very narrow window.
How
You may
narrow?
want to set yourselves up. I can make them amenable to us, but only 2 of them, so I need to get 2 of them away.
Oh, here we go again.
I can maybe
Tried and true strategy.
use my volunteer status at the circus to get 2 of them away.
Oh, jeez.
I think that would be very helpful.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to. I'm gonna craft like a really quick, just like pull out a thing out of my pocket, a piece of paper, and just tear it into the shape of like a little person, really crude, and just like whisper into it. And I'm gonna cast my little cantrip, Breath of Life, and set it so that in like, I guess I can remotely trigger it, but it's just gonna yell loudly. It's gonna be like, "Hey, hurry up! Have you found anyone to help out?" I'm gonna just hand it to her and be like, "When you're ready, just maybe like do a wave behind your back or something, and I'll set that to help you out."
Okay, so this paper person is going to help me when I wave to you. Okay, I got this.
Yes, super helpful. His name is Gerard.
Gerard, we got this.
While she's doing that, Desiel will put his hands inside the sleeves, and then he'll pull one hand out and kind of whisper into his hand. And set on the ground a spider which begins crawling towards the wagon of interest.
While that is happening, I'm also gonna do a very quick hand motion, this time a bit more flamboyant, and go like this on an arc, and then close my fist, clench it up, and throw it up. And I'm gonna. How far from the fire are we right now?
So it's a large wagon. Would probably take 4 like pretty big horses to carry. So I'd say about you're probably 30 feet ish from the fire because it's a few feet past the other side of the wagon. Are you gonna get like right up to the wagon?
Like if we're not in visual range of them, like I'm trying to get within 30 feet of the fire. Basically.
Yeah, you can do that pretty easily without being seen.
Okay.
Because now it is basically completely as dark as it's gonna get.
Okay. And I'm gonna
fully nighttime.
I'm gonna say, I can turn their fire off, and then after that, I believe Lyra might be able to distract. Would you be able to take advantage of that?
I thought
It's just heavily.
Oh, sorry.
Were you were asking Desiel or?
Yes. Apologies.
Yes, I believe so. Eddie is headed towards the wagon at the moment to ensure that our prize is within.
Okay. Whenever you're ready.
So,
Okay. So just to make sure we got this clear, Lyra, you are going to draw 2 of them away.
Yeah.
Or attempt to draw 2 of them away, and then
I'm gonna approach
Tempest
the other
is gonna-
2 and make them my friends.
Okay. At which point, Mnail, you were going to take away the light. And
Yes.
Desiel, you were
I
going
can't
to
turn it off, but I can dim.
Okay, dim the light, and then Desiel,
Yeah.
you are going to try to slip aboard
wagon, yes.
the wagon.
But I'm having everybody. If everybody could wait a moment, just give me a moment. Allow me to say when. Is this okay?
Yes.
So he will kind of put his hand on Amnel's shoulder, and his eyes kind of roll back, and he just kind of zones out while he sends his consciousness into the tarantula-sized spider that is crawling over and into the wagon to see if the strongbox is even inside.
So you go enter through the back of the wagon. You can slip through. There's a gap there where it's kind of bolted shut. And you find the spider rather finds himself amongst. In the back of the wagon, there are several layers of hammocks. Probably enough for just about everybody in this posse to set up. Going forward, off to the left, there's kind of a recessed area with a bed. That's probably where Amarok sleeps kind of the privileged position. It's got some of his personal effects kind of hung up around him. Off to the right is where it kind of opens, and you see the fire again. From this angle, kind of skittering up to the front of the cart. You can see to the left, kind of recessed again, this carriage is safe. And kind of stacked on top of that, there is a small wooden strongbox. That's just kind of been set there, along with several folded papers, and a stack of silver coins.
All right. Am I close enough to be able to give him any telepathic commands still?
Yeah, you're kind of right on the edge of that, because the thing's probably about 30 feet long,
Right.
so you could easily stay in position where you can.
All right. So I will have him crawl up to just above the entrance to the wagon and wait there, and then I will snap out of it back into my own consciousness.
So Dizzy's eyes kind of roll back forward. So you regain
Jess kind of reorients himself. Jess. So there is a strongbox of sorts, and then there appears to be another strongbox on top of these inside the wagon.
So two.
I don't know that I could grab both of them. I can attempt to grab one. We can attempt to go through the back of the wagon and take them both out. We can attempt to eliminate the individuals and then take them both.
Look, if
Eliminate the...
if Lyra can get the other two away,
Okay.
I can give you a minute on one of them, and depending on how friendly they're feeling, I can give you 10 minutes on the other one. So if the rest of you can take out one, slap him without consent.
Yeah. Very well. I may be able to help with the fourth one. We shall see. I have full confidence in the abilities of everyone here.
Have we considered that there might be other people inside or coming, and that if we slap without consent, that the two that have been distracted might not be so distracted anymore?
She just has to get them far enough away. She's not using time-limited help. So if we...
I'm using what people call charm.
Yes.
I understand.
but not a charm spell.
No, just my
Not a charm
personality.
spell. Just
Yes,
wit
no,
charm.
I see. I can also make for a few instants some sound that might draw them away from the carriage.
Very well.
I
just
can-
really
I
I've gotta
have...
go
Rod.
take care of something real quick. I'll be back in just
No
a
worries.
second. Sorry.
All right.
Gerard should be able to take care of that.
Me
Well,
and Gerard, we've got this. Don't we, buddy?
I have complete confidence in everyone here and all of your abilities.
I lean over to Desiel, looking at Lyra with this scrap of paper, and I go, "Is that how I sound normally?"
I'll step forward into a smiley face on Gerard.
In which way do you sound?
And I just very non-discreetly point at Lyra with the like not even leather, but just like parchment figure.
Oh, it's a different situation.
Okay. I suppose.
And meanwhile, Deziel reaches up inside of his shirt and pulls out a leather triangle of an amulet bound on a leather cord, and holds it up to his lips and whispers into it. And a soft white glow begins to radiate from it. And he presses it to his forehead and then tucks it back in around his neck. And he runs his right hand, which again begins to emanate a soft white glow. And it just starts to grow all over his body. And then he clenches both hands and releases them and says, Alitaf med mer. And as the energy travels all over his body and then completely fades into him, and he casts Mage Armor. Because
all right.
He totally trusts in everybody's abilities.
Another magic one. Gee, we have a lot of magic hanging around here. Tall guy. Not so tall guy. Lyra's got the magical charm.
I do.
Pep is Pep.
Yeah.
He's
I
the
can do
magic
some stuff too. I'm gonna take a smelling salt and just, and that's gonna be my second wind.
Oh, fantastic. Fantastic.
I would say the way he lost was, if that wasn't magic, I don't know what is.
This
Magic
is true.
Ding,
Oh,
hopefully.
didn't roll. 1 second.
You should just be able to. No, this isn't that kind of thing. Hey.
Oh, I
And
clicked it
of
multiple
course,
times. I'm so
my
sorry. Okay, 11. Yeah, okay.
I
Yeah, no, I did that.
30 points!
Yeah.
Boing, boing, boing.
He just keeps. He just overdoses.
Eventually those things will knock your ass out.
Yeah, so
Sniff
Pep
them anyway.
overdoses on smelling salts in session 1 and is dead. No.
Alright,
Uh,
so I cast that.
Alright, so you get your 11 points back. Deziel, you cast Mage Armor on yourself.
This is
13.
fucking bullshit. Okay.
Okay.
I'm gonna do one thing real quick, just out of interest, because I want to see their reaction. I'm gonna again wave my hand, and I'm gonna make, because the description of the spell says you can create instantaneous sounds that originate from a point of your choice, such as ominous whispers. And I'm gonna make ominous whispers on the diagonal of us, like on the other side of the fire. Just want to see how they react.
How far?
The range is 30 feet.
30 feet? Okay, so it's just kind of just on the other side of their their thing. They kind of like, do you hear something? And like looking towards it looks like they probably think it came from one of the other fires that are set, because this area is only a couple 100 feet like wide total. And there are a few other fires burning, so they just think, well, someone's being weird.
Deziel,
a little off-put.
Okay.
Deziel sneaks over and plasters himself to the back of the wagon, waiting for apparently at least 2 guys to wander off,
Okay.
from what he's been told.
So you're ready to go on the wagon.
Okay.
Yes.
I look over at Lyra.
Oh, it's my turn. Okay, I got this. I will walk to the fire. I'm gonna point.
All right, all 4 kind of look at you. Hello? One of them says, Mr. Slap Happy. Is just, hello? Can we help you?
Yes, you can help me. I'm gonna point to the 2 strongest of the group. You need to help me move stuff in this tent. Let's go.
Make a persuasion check. And look at you. Good one. Yeah. No, we don't
Wave
work for
behind
the
my
circus.
back for
Oh dear.
Tempest.
Oh god. Gerard is too close. Gerard is too close. Okay. I'm gonna wander up. All right. Fuck it. Let's go. Let's go for it.
Gonna walk up to him. Okay.
Oh, it is you. Yes.
Yes. Hello. Have you found some help for the circus?
I'm trying, but these men are being very rude to this.
Please. It's very desperate.
Very desperate.
Unfortunately, the two of us, as you can see, we're quite small. We're unable to lift anything, and Nestor is quite
Small
grumpy when he
women.
goes
Yes.
away.
Human women. We need your help now.
Well, I will allow Tempest now to make a persuasion check.
Can it be deception? Because I'm trying to lie to them.
Sure, sure. Make it deception because you invoked the name of Nestor. Which, go ahead, roll deception. 18!
If it makes you feel better, I can stay and hang out with your other two friends here. I mean, we only need two of you anyway, so...
Too strong of you. Yes.
Who you pointed at looking, just exchange a look and sigh. If it gets Nestor needs, I guess we don't want Nestor mad at us while he's negotiating with the boss.
I know, he can be such a grumpy guy sometimes. Thank you for your help, Faze.
Alright, and the two of them get up, the two biggest, burliest ones.
I'm gonna hold out my hands for them to, like, hold my hand.
Like as a handshake, or is
No,
it like
we need to hold hands to walk back to the tent.
they look at they look at each other again. No, we're good. We'll just follow you.
He's very
see in the
sensitive,
dark.
guys. I'm gonna lean over to them and whisper, guys, she's been with the circus for a while. It's kind of messed with her brain. They used to keep her in the cages.
Yeah, make a persuasion check. Lyra, make a persuasion check with advantage because Tempest
Can
is
I make a
helping.
deception check?
Not you, no. This one's persuasion. With advantage, though.
Yay!
Oh, okay.
Come on.
The universe likes our plan.
They look at you and sigh again and each take a hand. And you're going to lead them... Where are you going to lead them?
I'm gonna take them the long way, like the scenic route, to the back of one of the tents.
To the main tent, or one of the tents that's on the other side in the front?
The farthest tent from us.
Okay, yeah, so you're heading all the way
And I'm
like to
walking
the
very slow.
You're going to the menagerie.
Yeah.
Way back in that corner.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
And as she's walking away, like when she gets a few steps ahead of them, then I'll like trigger Gerard because the problem was she was right next to them, so he was too close. Now I think it can be like a little bit believable, like it's from a distance.
Guys, so you're triggering your little paper man here.
Yeah, and it's just gonna yell, "Hey, hurry up! You know, Nesta's getting angry."
Okay, quick question. How many are left behind? 2.
2 are currently there, 2 are going with Lyra, and this sound is coming from the paperman, which Lyra has?
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it like in my
Yeah, hold on. What's because
pocket, Tempest.
I'm looking at your...
Wait, the sound's coming from the paper that she's holding.
Yeah.
Give me this paper to
Yeah.
hold Tempest.
Oh
could I
my
have-
god,
My question is,
The
it
cantrip
echoes
says-
sound.
can
So can I have
replicate
this standing
sound
away from it?
We're not professionals at this.
by,
Not all of us, anyway.
We're
not by how
It's
the
terrible.
not by how the cantrip is worded.
Mm.
Because you could have him move 10 feet away and then make a sound.
No, well, I was thinking, like, could I, when I was recording it, could I have been, like, 10 feet away from it and tried recording, or, like, held it out, like, 5 feet away? and then like said it quietly so it sounds like it's from a distance.
I mean, it's gonna, no matter what you do, it's gonna emanate from your little creation. Because the way that the cantrip is worded, the creation can replicate a simple sound for up to 10 minutes. You may choose the length and duration for which it sounds up to 10 minutes. It's gotta come from, so you could have it move and make a sound.
So it could be like a sending stone. So somebody's asking her, like, "Hey, do you have help yet?"
Yes,
All right,
but we
so what
didn't
is it?
discuss that. So I have no clue. I wasn't prepared for this, and I'm not used to this plan being run with friends.
Set it off. Just don't set it off.
I won't
Yeah,
set
set
it
it
off.
off. Go for it.
Okay, as I see Tempest's panicked face,
Yeah, so Tempest, none of that, you haven't triggered anything yet. You've just realized, like,
That would be a bad idea.
no, this isn't gonna work like this.
can
So yeah, quickly,
Can I-
what you got?
can I be in a place where I can see the guys, but they can't see me?
You can put yourself in a position where you can see them and roll a stealth check.
That would suck, but I will try. I will try to do that then. Let's see if already rolls twice because I have disadvantage on step. Ooh, that fucking sucks. Okay.
You can see them. They aren't looking at you because they're still kind of watching this debacle in front of them of Lyra leading these two away.
Yes.
But if they were to look,
They would
turn
most likely
and look
see me.
in the other direction, they would almost certainly see you.
Fucking hell.
I'm just gonna yell after Lyra and be like, and don't forget Gerard is looking for us, so, if you see him, just throw him a message.
I'll look to the two men who are holding my hands. Gerard's a good friend of mine. Sometimes we slap each other as we walk off into the distance.
Okay. I am not going to do what I was going to do. I am going to instead cast. I know technically this is 2 actions, but since we're not really in initiative, I'm gonna first of all cast Thaumaturgy, like towards me, so like close where they would hear it, but towards myself. And I'll cast like a whisper going, "Come, Master's calling."
From your direction, the outside of the wagons?
Yeah.
And is this going to? Are you trying to mimic a voice you've heard before, or is this your own
No,
voice?
just a voice.
Just a voice.
A voice.
Wait, are you pulling them in the opposite direction now?
No, like towards Lyra.
Okay.
So back in that direction. Okay.
Yeah. So
Ooh,
30 feet from me, the other way.
right. Okay, so that's gonna get you. So on the other side of the wagon.
As far away from the entrance as I can. My intention is to draw their attention
Pull
somewhere.
them away to pull their attention away from Lyra.
Yes. From the wagon itself.
You're not
Okay,
trying to
so
target
in
the
the other
people with me, you're trying to target the people with the fire.
Yes, the ones on the fire, exactly.
Okay. Oh, make a performance check.
Oh yes.
Because they make the noise. The noise happens.
The
But to see how
thing
direct it
that
is, how convincing it is.
this is gonna fucking suck. Okay.
Well, it's not my fault. The
Jesus
cleric
Jesus.
decided to be a rogue today.
Jesus takes the wheel. 6.
Oh no.
They kind of look. They hear it, and they hear this noise that clearly is kind of aimed at them, or that they could reasonably intuit is aimed at them. But it's not a voice they recognize. It's just a voice saying that, like a disembodied voice from nowhere. And they look at each
Fuck
other,
it.
and then look at
Nobody die. And I'm gonna cast
Oh.
command on one of them.
command on whom?
On one of them.
What happened to the
Okay.
plan?
Meanwhile, I guess I'm just like plastered on the fucking side of the wagon going,
When they turn their backs. Tempestu's got her hand raised in the middle of a twinned friends cast.
Okay, so you're trying to cast friends.
That was the plan. So, like, as soon as they
Right,
came
right,
I was like, this is a great opportunity.
What is each of your decks?
Oh, sucks. 13.
13.
Oh, no, extras than me.
What was that?
Mine's 15.
15. Okay, yeah, so you're able to get yours off first.
If I see her casting, I would stop.
I'm super small. I don't know if you see me behind them.
No, because you're kind of standing next. You're kind of
Okay.
Yeah, you'd be able to see that she's doing something and be like, I don't know. So you're gonna.
I start putting my hand out, and I see, and I go, okay.
Is there a save associated with friends, or does it just happen?
No, they're just my friend for 1 minute, and it's on both of them because it's twinned.
Are your friends? Okay,
So they're not charmed or anything. They're just friendly towards me.
Okay, yeah. So you kind of touch one of their arms, and these little sparks kind of pop off of your fingers onto them, traveling up to the head, and then it kind of bing, sparks over to the other. And so, for the they were kind of looking at you a little askance, but they're just it's a kid. I mean, so would a drink?
I'm not huge on drinking, but do you want to play a game? Like, no one's really been wanting to play with me today because everyone's so busy running the circus.
Yeah, okay. We could play a game. What do you want to play?
And they seem to be looking away. I'm gonna try and sneak into the wagon.
How about tag? You guys look like you're super athletic. We can stay within the field of the tent. It'll be fine. Oh, the caravan. Sorry. Words.
Yeah, okay. Who's it?
Why don't I be it? Because, I proposed it and no one likes being it first. So that's fair.
Oh, okay.
And I'll leave them a bit away. We'll just come over here because it's more spacious over here. You don't want to play around fire. That's been a mess.
They walk out and then just both take off in opposite directions. Looking
as soon as that happens, I taumaturgy the fire so it dims.
Okay. Fire dims. Desiel are going to sneak in. At this point, everyone's pulled away. Go ahead and roll just a general stealth check to see how, you're not really at risk.
There has to be one professional.
No advantage.
Well, no, this isn't against anything in particular at the moment. Because it's not like even if you roll really poorly, they're going to see you. They're not looking.
Oh, that's pretty good.
18, yeah. So you pretty deftly just kind of slide around the side to the back, and then slide around the back, kind of staying on this little ridge of wood of the frame. So not even touching the ground. You just kind of slide around and slip into the carriage. Eddie, the spider, kind of hops up onto your leg and climbs back up through your ropes as you unless you're going to command him to stay there.
I'm going to have him continue to stay above the entrance to the wagon
so
until I tell him otherwise.
Up onto the top of the wagon, just kind of looking out. So you slip in. Start.
Yes.
No one.
To keep the ruse going, I'm counting to 100, being like 1, 2. That also helps me count the spell down. I'm just like, I'm giving them a head start. I'm very fast.
What form of tag are you used to playing? Because this kind of sounds like hide and seek.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
It's Australian tag. Australians don't.
There's hide.
So we have this game called 40-40. Basically, is you've got a home base, and you give people a head start to hide, and then you got to go hunting them around, and then you got to race them. As soon as you spot them, you got to race them back to home base. And if they beat you, then they're safe. But you got to tag them beforehand. So we're playing 40-40, okay?
That's hide and seek.
Yeah, that's basically hide and seek. But
I don't remember hide and seek having a base.
In a way, no. What it is, it's a lot more like kick the can.
What?
Yeah, kick the can.
What
Kick
the
the can,
hell is that?
Fucking
I get minus
the can. So kick the can is like hide and seek. So you set everybody, it's people there, and there. I mean, it depends on because I've played it in in an entire summer camp with like 40 people at night. It's really fun. It's basically what you do is you've got the can. In our case, it was this big like dinner bell in the middle, and it was so fun. And everyone would hide, and the seekers, if they found you, you could just take off. You could run. They had to tag you. Then once they tagged you, you were captured, and you had to go stand near the can. And the seeker's goal was to catch everybody. But what the people hiding could do is they could run up, and if they could ring the bell without getting tagged, it released everybody.
Yeah. Okay, I played variations of that.
It's kind of that similar thing of like.
It's pretty much that.
Meanwhile, Lyra's just holding two burly men's hands, going like,
slowly walking them away
So?
from this.
Do you guys slap each other? We're just talking about that.
Already.
With consent, of course.
Gerard is sitting in her pocket, just help me.
Help me.
I have been brought into existence to suffer.
Why have you done this to me, Creator?
You have animated me.
I'm going to attempt to pick the lock of the strong box, the one on top.
So you slide up to the top strong box. You kind of brush some of the papers across, which are folded and sealed. You see they're stamped all with the same seal, which is just a blank circle. It's not like a coat of arms, but it's just a seal. Push those aside. You're going to go to pick a lock. All right, so make a make a lock pick. So that's Thieves' Tools.
All right. Can I use intelligence?
Yes, John the Rogue.
Yes, you can.
Excellent.
Because that is your whole thing.
I can be intelligent enough to understand the locks.
I'm not going to suddenly pull the rug on you and say no.
You can. My dex is it's close to my intelligence. It's my second best score.
But no, in this case, you can kind of like feel around and try to find the bits of the lock and see if you can recall your extensive knowledge of locks.
Excellent. All right.
You pull out an encyclopedia that just says locks.
I am going to call upon the powers of time and back up a few seconds and try that a second time.
Yeah, so you wheel and you think you've got it, and so you kind of twist one of the picks and feel it, and about to snap in the thing, but you kind of pop this field that kind of warps everything back just a touch. Unless you have another go.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
No, this time it doesn't snap, but it just kind of slips out of the teeth of this lock.
Oh no!
And slides out.
good at this.
Broken. The lock isn't broken.
Yeah.
Okay.
Neither the lock nor the lock pick are broken.
All right. I would like to try and pick the one beneath it then. If this lock is
and this, so you kind of push the first strongbox aside. It's reasonably heavy, probably 20, 30 pounds. Or no, like 15, 20 pounds. Just push that to the side. And this bigger one is actually, it's much nicer. Obviously much bigger. And this one is actually set in the floor, like it's part of the floor. But it looks like it has these locked rails where it could slide out. So yeah, go ahead and try. This one's a much more complicated.
He sits there and looks at
lock.
Yeah, this is more worth my skills.
This worked so well last time.
The other thing is, it's just too rusty. It's a simple rusty lock. We will break it later. This one, however,
My God!
I will use my second fucking chrono shift of the day. I don't know why it hits me today. And there, I've used both of them. Fuck me. What are the fucking odds? A 2, a 3, a 2, and a 1. Well, I guess I'm not supposed to get into either one of these fucking locks. A 2, a 3, a 2, and a 1. Really?
At this point in time, Tempest is going to perk her head into the thing and be like, how are we going? We got like 30 seconds left.
Oh,
He
dear.
goes,
Oh,
"Fuck
dear.
me. I just broke my fucking lockpick.
Yes, so the lockpick snaps, and the lock, it's straight. You kind of twist one of the tumblers, and it snaps, and you hear, there's like a tick, 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 and then it snaps down, which snaps your lock, snaps your pick, and then this metal plate slides across on the inside of the lock, just snapping it shut. completely nullifying any further attempts to pick it. As we're reaching the end of your minute, you've got maybe 10 seconds before these.
Perhaps, help me grab this one. And he tries and grabs the strong box, the smaller one, and like tries
No.
to hop
Tempest
out.
leaps in the window, and I'm going to cast Levitate on the big one.
On the big one?
So what is... Ooh, let's see, Levitate. Let's look at that.
It drops the friendship, but there's not much left on there anyway, and they're like 30 seconds of running away.
Levitate.
Meanwhile, he is trying to get out with the smaller strong box.
I was going to say, I'm going to run in, and I'm going to see him struggling to carry this box, and I'm going to go, gimme!
Meanwhile, Pep is just like putting away his smelling salts. He doesn't know any of this is going on. He's just like trying to put his smelling salts away. Like,
how heavy would you say the smaller one is?
He says like 15 pounds.
Oh,
maybe
15
20.
pounds.
15, maybe 20 pounds.
You can just grab that and pull it. The bigger one, like I said, it's on these kind of these small padlocks which lock it in. But the spell, what does it look like? What does Levitate look like?
So Tempest like crawls up and like tumbles in the window and kind of like rolls to a stop at the foot of the lockbox, and she just kind of looks at it and just takes a big breath and kind of just lifts her arms, and a glow kind of emanates from around her. Her hair kind of lifts up, her robes flare out, and with them as they flare up, so too does the lockbox, also emanated in this blue glow.
Yeah, so
theoretically.
Pulls against these padlocks, which bend and then snap. The iron snaps and it slides up, and is now just. It is there.
We gotta go.
Handed the smaller box to Amnael, Desiel will try and help push this now weightless safe out.
Pep.
The levitated safe.
The levitated safe, yes.
Ooh. I'm looking at the spell. Let's see. You can change.
I can control. So it's up and down. I can
altitude.
levitate it up and down.
You can control the altitude, but it is fixed. It is still as heavy as it normally is, but magically can be moved up or down. So it can't. I mean, you can like push it. You can do a strength check to like push it through the air. It's not going to move quickly. It's a heavy save.
I'll hurry over because I heard someone calling for me. Like, what? I just put my smelling salts away. What's happening?
Right. Yeah,
Help
and
push.
at this point, you hear from two different points in the circle. Hey, get back here! Little witch tricked us.
So,
Lyra, your two friends look back, and then look back at you, and they're just gonna grab at your wrist. You're gonna hold on. Okay, so they're both going to grab you.
That's fine. I'm gonna just
right,
try to keep him here with all my.
Yep, you're currently restrained.
Okay.
Can we see this happening?
Let them grab you. Yeah, it's kind of off. Like they've gotten off a ways, by about 100 feet at this point, and they're gonna put like, what is this?
Oh no.
Sorry, that was just me using my levitate.
Oh, okay, for the levitate, yeah. Yeah, so the big safe is up. Little safe is being carried by Mnail, right?
Yeah. But to be fair, since I hear all this screaming, I'll probably like throw it on the floor and take my glaive out because shit's about to go down.
Oh my gosh, we're going to combat.
What are you doing? Run!
Yeah, if I run, you're not gonna run as fast as me. You guys are fucked with this thing.
No, we are good.
Okay, so I'll do this. You take that one, and I'm gonna try to help Pep to push the heavier one.
Yeah, I'll push with
Right.
Amneal.
So one of you make a strength check with advantage because the other is helping, just to see how well you can get that thing going.
Do you want to roll it, Amneal?
I don't know who's buffer of the two of us, but sure.
You're bigger, so I'm gonna be like, go ahead. I'll just help.
Yeah. Strength check. Let's see if we'll roll with advantage. 18.
Hey, okay. So you can get it going, and you find that once you kind of get a little bit of momentum, it kind of builds a little quicker. I will say you're only reduced to half movement while pushing it, because it's a very heavy save.
Cool.
Like this one it's wood around the outside of it, but there's clearly metal that's wrapping the inside. So you could push it, and it's moving actually at a nice clip. You guys can kind of almost jog behind it. So you kind of push out and into the middle as you see the two that used to be friends now charging towards you, pulling at swords on their waist and calling for like, help, thief. And
could I cast a spell as I'm moving?
Yeah, you can like, because we're not in combat just yet. And Lyra, they're just grabbing onto you, and they kind of put both hands on your arms.
Can I
just holding you between them
as heavy as possible, like sit down almost?
You can. Let's see, what would a dead weight?
Dead weight. And
what do you
if
weigh?
I need to, I'll add more muscle mass to myself.
Do you have a weight listed? Imagine she's not very heavy.
Yeah, no, like just generically, she's like probably like 120.
Yeah, and these are two pretty strong guys. You kind of try and like sit, like pull your feet up, and they just hold you.
It's like a kid between parents, like when you're holding,
yeah. So they just kind of grab you under the arm,
and she's kicking.
Yeah, so they each have one hand on your wrist, tightly grip it, and then one like under your arm, hoisting you up.
Okay, if I see that this isn't going anywhere and they're about to drag me back, like Lyra has a mission. She needs to get these two away from there. So she's gonna like look between the two, and like first she's gonna start with, I really do need your help with something in the tent.
No,
that doesn't
time.
work. Okay.
Late for that.
And then she's gonna try to scare them, and she's gonna have her like eyes like turn black, and her fingers like get super long and like creepy.
Okay. What is it you're doing?
And I'm gonna be like, you need to help me with the tent, like trying to scare them.
So what is it you're utilizing for this? Oh, because you're right.
Yeah.
You're just doing that. So yeah, make an intimidation check.
Okay.
Oh, that's pretty good.
19. Yeah, so they were clearly not expecting that. So they drop you immediately. And one of them kind of cries out and trips over himself. Demon! As now everyone in this area, everyone that was in wagons is out of wagons. Everyone that was at fireplaces is now up. You see Nestor, Emerok, his manager, all exit Nestor's wagon, kind of looking around.
Okay, and then
everyone is looking at you.
Okay, I'll transform back really fast. It's like, why would you drink so much? I'm so sorry. We were just having a goof and a couple of, how do you call, ales with friends who slap each other consensually, and it just got a little bit out of hand. I'm so sorry, everyone.
Okay. Oh goodness, this is like everything. Just straight charisma, because this is like everything. This is deception, this is persuasion, this is performance. You are doing everything.
Oh.
Okay, the good news is that you have distracted for the moment, except for the two that are now directly hostile towards Tempest.
Okay.
You have distracted everyone from the thieves.
Okay, that's good.
The bad news is, again, everyone is looking at you. Some of them saw you in this strange warped state, and none of them really believe you. So you see some hired muscle start to step forward from some of the wagons. Nestor begins to walk. Everyone kind of encircles you, and the two mercenaries kind of scramble away from you. So you're now surrounded by about 30 or 40 people.
Okay, I know.
A lot of whom have weapons. None of whom look friendly.
I'll just hold my hands up and be like, just smile. That's it. That's all I got. Just standing there smiling with my hands up.
That seems an excellent spot for us to call it a night.
Oh my god. Oh my god. We fucking suck.
Yeah.
We're
We're
level
terrible.
2. We're level
I think
2.
that
We're not
was-
good at this.
I think that was incredibly entertaining.
My favorite part is that the most wild parts of the plan went fine. It was the lockpicks that brought us down.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2, 3, 2, 1. I'm like, well,
Oh no.
the odds of that are astronomical.
My
So let's wrap up the stream here. Thank you all for joining. Let's see. Well, I have a script.
No.
I'm so
Ben?
lost in terms.
You hate how well we rolled on that, don't you?
Oh, I do. Because you're right. The craziest bits of that plan went perfectly.
And we broke the one rule of D&D. There is one rule: don't
Immediately.
split the party. And we
Great, we're all in the same general area. We're fine.
Yeah, we are.
Maybe
Well,
not
you
all
are.
of us are fine, but
Well.
okay.
Let's do a prison
Yeah.
break. We'll do a prison break.
Okay, thanks.
To be honest, the mercenary situation, I could have helped you and managed you, but the fact that you got 30 people now looking at you, it's like, oh, okay, now this is... like, if it was just those two guys, I was like, oh, I can actually help you.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
oh, it's these
2
30
people.
people, like...
30 people.
I panicked, okay?
As every time you were like, I'm gonna make sure they hold my hand.
Yeah.
Okay, if you're sure.
I'm not smart.
Let's wrap things up. Thank you, those of us who are here, for joining. Oh, yeah. Follow the links in the stream description or the channel description, whatever it's called over here. Head to Discord, Twitter, YouTube. I think the YouTube's set up. Well, there's nothing on there yet. I think this is going to go on there, right? We're putting the
Yes.
Like
It
the
will
stream's
be
on there?
uploaded tomorrow.
If you want to watch this again, you could certainly do so. Yeah, well, see y'all next week.
Bye.
Good night,
Bye.
morning,
Good
night, morning, evening, afternoon, whatever it is. It's different for everybody. Well, okay, no, it's different within these specific 24 bands of time.
It's chaos o'clock. Embrace the chaos.
Yes,
Yes.
it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Oh no. Oh.
Matt, have a good day. Kendra, hope you eventually get to sleep. And the rest of us will just, it's nighttime.
All right. See you next week.
See y'all
See ya.
next week.